This place is absolutely jammed as we are ready for the 1994 Class AA State High School Tournament. Good evening, everybody. Along with Daryl Sellers, of course, Mark Schultz with you, and we are, of course, live from Bloomington Stadium. The Jefferson Jaguars are fresh off their 35-34 victory over top-ranked Eden Prairie last week to get out of Section 6 AA and have earned the right to compete in the 1994 state tournament. Daryl, the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders from St. Paul, of course, a perennial St. Paul power coming in tonight. This is their sixth state appearance over the last 7 years, so they certainly have a lot of experience coming into this game.
Yes, they won 5 straight St. Paul Conference titles with 26 in a row in the conference. Not known as one of the stronger conferences opposed to the Lake Conference, but they proved their mettle when they get into the tournament, as last year they lost to Apple Valley 9-7. Apple Valley, of course, the eventual state champion. They always have great individual talent. This year's no exception, with players like Tim Rosga and Vertus Webb III.
Vertus Webb III apparently comes from a long line of Vertus Webbs, but he is a terrific player. He ran wild over the Mustangs of Moundsview last week in Cretin's 17-point victory over the Mustangs. Vertus Webb, though, he is just one of, as you mentioned, probably 2 or 3 weapons that the Jefferson defense is going to have to be concerned about tonight.
Yeah, they'll have to be concerned more of a varied attack. Not saying Eden Prairie was just Leroy McFadden, but I do believe Cretin-Derham Hall is probably more varied attack than just about any team that Jefferson's going to see. And they've really revived their offense with Vertus Webb coming back from that 4 games where he had a broken arm. And they really came alive against Moundsview last week and hope to carry that on. But Jefferson has an answer for that also.
In fact, the answer is number 22, and his name is Brant Grimes. And Grimes, of course, who had a nice article written about him in the Star Trib this week. He basically, as we've been saying all year, you plug him into any position on the field, and it just seems to happen.
He can do everything. Special teams, he can block kicks. He had over 300 all-purpose yards, receiving, running, and running back kicks. Also great defensive specialist, so that'll be the task that Cretin-Derham Hall has to try to conquer, stopping him. And they also have other players like Kenyatta Bolden, and we've seen all year long what kind of receivers they have that they bring on the field. So both teams, a good offensive attack. Cretin-Derham Hall, the top in Class AA allowing points, but they haven't seen many offenses like the one they'll see here tonight.
Yeah, they're going to get a dose of a real offense tonight in Jefferson. Speaking of the offense, Doug Hofford, of course, the quarterback tonight, coming off a terrific performance against Eden Prairie. 10 out of 11 for 198 yards. Threw for a touchdown, scored a touchdown as well in overtime. And Hofford, when could you say, Doug's had a tremendous year, and he really seems to be peaking at the right time for him.
Yes, as we saw late in the season, they had a little trouble with their passing game, but they really started to bring it together in the Apple Valley game, and they really brought it together against Eden Prairie. And they're going to need him and the rest of the offense and the whole team as a whole to really perform well. And Coach Shea said they really had a good practice, and we'll see if they can carry that onto the field and minimize their mistakes. They haven't had any turnovers in 2 games. Couple crucial penalties here and there, but they get rid of some of those things and quell that, and I think they'll be in good shape, and who knows how far they can go.
The winner of this game will go indoors to the Metrodome as the semifinals of the state championship will begin play. So we're 1 win away from going indoors. We're at the stadium, and of course it will be packed. It's already a very large crowd. The parking lot was pretty full, even about 6:15 tonight. So should be a great one. It's a great night as far as weather-wise for the game. It's about 60 degrees. I'll make it about 50 degrees. Pretty stiff wind, but the skies are clear, and at least for November 11th, we'll certainly take the weather. So we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have tonight's starting lineups along with the opening kickoff right after this.
The air dances with the waters, which brings the rain that feeds the land, that is home to the animals. All life dances together.
In a world so connected, choosing one environmental cause can be hard. Earthshare is 40 environmental charities working together. You and your company can help by calling 1-800-MY-SHARE.
All life lives, or doesn't, together.
Cretin-Derham Hall has just taken the field, and they'll line up at the south end zone, and they will be introduced first tonight as we are just getting ready to go. There you see the Raiders coming together at the south end of the field. Jaguars have yet to appear on the field. As we mentioned before in the pregame show, Brant Grimes, of course, had a nice article in the Star Tribune this week. Mr. Everything, basically, and that's almost in a literal sense. He is on the field for probably 47 of 48 minutes per game.
Yes, sometimes maybe even 48. He plays on all facets of the game, specializing in everything, really. And a real stalwart on special teams blocking kicks, as Jefferson has blocked 13 kicks so far this year, and that's helped vault them in many performances over the '94 season.
Of course, Brant has had a terrific season, but just to give an indication of how his season has been against top-ranked Eden Prairie last week, 18 carries, 139 yards. Scored a touchdown as well. In fact, he also threw for one.
Yes, threw the winning score, what ended up being the winning score following the missed extra point, finding Doug Hofford on the halfback option pass in overtime. Electrifying 35-34 win. It's a play they use, a gadget play. I'm sure St. Paul's Cretin-Derham Hall, they also have that type of offense, as Tim Rosga has lined up in the wing-back position to throw also, so I'm sure on both sides we'll see gadget plays once in a while.
The request of the coach was that we'll introduce the starting defensive unit for Cretin-Derham Hall. Well, at least it was a good time when we got in before the luck of the draw now.
Taking the field.
Yeah.
Jefferson, the winner of Section 6AA, as we are one win away from going to the Metrodome. Been a long time since Jefferson has reached this game.
Yes, 11 years, 1983. Been close. A few regional finals, only to have Burnsville be the obstacle in their way. This year they cleared those obstacles in the regular season and in the playoffs, beating Burnsville here on this field, beating Apple Valley in the playoffs, and then, of course, beating number one Prairie last week. They have another obstacle at hand, one of the top teams in the state year in and year out. See if they can also clear that one and go into round 2 of state play that'll move inside Hubert Humphrey Dome.
And you hear the Jefferson rouser, and we're ready now for Mr. Tom Spees and his introduction tonight.
And now introducing the starting defensive unit for the Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders. At defensive end, number 70, sophomore Jeremy Docks. At tackle, number 72, senior Terrence Gillette. At tackle, number 50, senior Jason Schwab. At end, number 77, senior Tony Giuliani. At linebacker, number 25, senior Pat Flynn. At linebacker, number 22, senior Dan Webb. At linebacker, number 87, junior John Hunter. At linebacker, number 44, senior David Cortez. At cornerback, number 33, senior Chris Hyder. At cornerback, number 32, junior Ben Kozel. And at safety, number 10, senior Tim Rosga. Head coach Rick Kallock in the balance of the 1994 Cretin-Derham Hall Raiders. And now introducing the starting defensive unit for the Jefferson Jaguars. At defensive end, number 35, junior Jason Christopher. At tackle, number 63, senior David Grusing. Yes. At nose guard, number 75, senior Adam Heisman. At end, number 49, sophomore Dan Richards. The linebackers, number 46, junior Tom Erickson. Number 42, senior captain Mike Wagner. Number 69, senior Travis Johansson. In the secondary is strong safety, number 20, junior Keith Thompson. At free safety, number 22, senior captain Brant Grimes. And at the cornerbacks, number 28, senior Mike Maxwell. And at the other corner, number 40, junior Hawk Tia. Head coach Stan Shea, his staff, and the balance of the 1994 Jefferson Jaguar football team. Is it Webby?
Well, there you see our introductions for tonight as both the defensive units being introduced. This is one fired up place. Every seat will be filled in this place tonight, and I'm sure there'll be some fans going out onto the grass as well. It's going to hold a lot of people tonight.
Yeah, so expecting well over 5,000 here for tonight's game. Filled up very early as both teams prepare to take the kickoff. Both teams coming into this game after very emotional performances. Eden Prairie game for Jefferson 35-34, and of course we mentioned Cretin-Derham Hall getting Vertus Webb back. Not sure if he could come back, but they got him back earlier than expected, and that enhances their chances, they hope, to move on to the next round. 17
carries for 147 yards last week for Webb, as the Raiders for the game outgained Mounds View 384-218, so Mounds View was certainly able to keep close despite the yardage difference. Mike Maxwell ready to kick off for Jefferson. Tim Rosga on the right, Webb on the left. This one is down the middle, and it bounces off a player and recovered by the Raiders at their own 37-38 yard line. Pat DeRosia was the guy who the ball bounced off of, but the Raiders will have it from their own 38 as we start this game. Cretin winning the kick, electing to receive. Pretty stiff wind, though, out of the south. The Jaguars will have it initially for the first 12 minutes. As the Raiders come out in a I formation, Rosga to the right, Webb the deep back, and the blocking back, Kip Knippel. We give this to Knippel up the middle, and he gets about 3 yards and is dropped at the 40-yard line. Wagner in on the tackle along with Christopher, and it's a gain of 3, and it's, well, make it 2 and a gain of 2nd and 8.
Actually, Vertus Webb getting that initial carry, going up the middle, pretty stacked. He tried to pick his hole. Pretty good first play for the defense, seeing Cretin-Derham Hall be a test for both teams, not knowing really what to expect, seeing it the first time on the field.
Strong left this time. Again, Webb the deep back as St. Aubin under center. Will give off to Webb, and he is drilled at the 39-yard line as penetrating the right side of the Jaguar defense. Leading the charge, number 46, Tom Erickson. And it's actually no gain to play, and it'll become 3rd and a long 7 to go.
One of the key players for defense on Jefferson's side is Adam Heisman, playing that nose guard position sometimes, taking on 2 blockers, helping free up the linebackers, and that time Tom Erickson knifing in, holding Webb to no gain, 3rd and 7 from the 40.
Devon Green to the near side. Again, it's a staggered set on 3rd down as St. Aubin is back, and he'll roll to the right and fire, and it is caught at the 43. A fumble on the play, and the Jaguars have recovered. Grimes down the near side. Grimes with a 30, and he's pulled out of bounds at the 26-yard line.
Grant Grimes recovers the fumble and returns.
Well, once again,
to
it's the defense
Cretin-Derham.
of Jefferson making things happen. They haven't had turnovers in their last 2 games, and it was 2 fumbles early that helped their situation in the Eden Prairie game following the punt return by Jeff Hahn. And now they have a chance right off the bat with no score to strike first blood.
We'll introduce the Jaguar lineup as we go along. Hofford, of course, the quarterback. Wing set, strong left on first down from the 29. Inside, counted to Grimes. Grimes, 25, Grimes, 20. Still on his feet to the 50, 10, 5, and he will score! And I think maybe he got one hand on him.
Maybe a finger. That's about it. You see that counter sprint draw. They use that all season long, and not many teams have been able to slow it down. Eden Prairie did a good job in the second half, but the initial play didn't take Jefferson long to capitalize on the turnover.
Yeah, they have lived by that turnover all year long. That and the block punt as Maxwell's point after. The snap, the place, and the kick is right down the middle. And the Jaguars, on one play, have taken the lead 1 minute and 47 seconds into this game. And immediately it's Jefferson 7-0.
They enjoy the lead opposed to last week, but you know, at Cretin-Derham Hall, they've been renowned for their great offense, and I'm sure this one score won't demoralize them to the point where they'll panic. They have the ability to come back and come back quickly. But it's a good start for Jefferson as the defense did a good job stopping the initial runs and then forced the fumble on third down from Tim Rozga. Then one play, and they've already taken the lead with still 10 minutes to go in the first quarter.
And we'll keep an eye on the turnovers, of course. That's usually a big stat, especially when you get this far into the playoffs. When you get 2 good teams put together, the team, of course, that usually has the most turnovers usually loses. So again, it'll be Rozga on the right, Webb on the left, and Maxwell will be set to go. And he gets it down the middle again, and again, it bounces off of DeRosia. And the Raiders will basically start where they did the last time, but this time will be on their 36-yard line, I believe, 1st and 10.
They'll sacrifice a little field position having the wind here. Don't want to give Rozga a chance at a big run back. It's been their strategy to try to hold down some of the returns, which is pretty good. They have confidence in their defense where they'll give a little on the short kicks opposed to giving up a chance at a big run back.
Strong right this time as Green's in the slot. Rozga wide to the near side. Senauer is to the left side, and the give is to Webb, and he will get about 3, and that's about it as he gets out to the 39-yard line. Making the tackle, Adam Heisen was there, along with some help from Richards as well, and it's 2nd and 7.
They're using the deep I formation where Vertus Webb can be used to his best ability so he can pick his hole, look and read his blocks. You see there he didn't have too much to choose from. His pretty good run support. 3 carries now for 6 yards for Vertus Webb, and 2nd and 7 just inside the 40.
Make that Hawks in the game now in the slot to the right side. And again, St. Aubin now will shoot it to Rozga. Rozga 45, Rozga to midfield, and he is taken out of bounds at about the Jefferson 48, 47-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. Looks like the 47. So a gain on the play of 14 yards, and Cretin picks up their first down of the game.
Cretin-Derham Hall really can stretch a defense. They have a lot of weapons. They use Tim Rozga in various ways there. Just a quick out to the right. And Rozga ran to daylight, had a couple good blocks upfield. Cretin-Derham Hall has crossed the 50-yard line, and they're on the move.
Green slot to the left, Rozga wide to the left. And again, Senauer to the near side. On 1st and 10, toss left side to Webb. Webb trying to get outside. Webb to the 50. Now he turns it back to the outside, and he gets well, in fact, he'll lose yardage on that one. Thought maybe he'd got back to the line of scrimmage. But he eventually was pushed all the way out over there. Raleigh Logan was over there to make the hit. And a loss of actually 2, and it becomes 2nd and 12.
Good run support by the secondary, helping turn Webb wide is number 20, Keith Thompson. You see knifing in there to force him closer to the sidelines, and good pursuit laterally to throw Webb back for a yard. 2nd down, and they'll give him a 2-yard loss. 2nd and 12 from the 49.
Green to the near side, Rozga in the slot. Again, strong left on 2nd and 12. St. Aubin will give to Webb on the delay, and Webb will keep his feet to the 45, and he is eventually brought down at the 44-yard line. Nice play by Maxwell to trip him up as Webb picks up 6, and he could have had a lot more. And now it becomes 3rd and about 6 to go.
See the elusiveness of Vertus Webb as he made a couple of tacklers miss around the line of scrimmage. Only a play, Mike Maxwell stopped that one from being a big gainer. It's once again a sprint draw. Vertus Webb just picking his hole, gets away from the interior defensive lineman. Only Mike Maxwell had a chance to stop him before at least getting the first down. He did that. 3rd and 6 from the 44.
I formation this time on 3rd down as Knipple is in the game to block. And it'll be a play action by St. Aubin. And he wants to throw, and he does, and it's caught at the 39 and dropped. The catch is made by Sean Van Gemmert. And he is stopped about 2 yards shy of the first down, though, by Maxwell. And Van Gemmert, rather, with the catch, and it's 4th and 2, and let's see what the Raiders decide
on
to
the
do.
replay there, looking for the tight end finding the seam. Van Gemmert had a big touchdown catch against Moundsview last week. Pass from Tim Rosga, and they'll go for it here on 4th and 2. Pivotal play here in the first quarter.
And they come out on a wing. No, I guess they'll punt now. Rosga will be doing the kicking. And, of course, Grimes is back to receive the kick. Fumbled snap, but he gets it away. High kick, and Grimes will call for the fair catch at the 10-yard line, and that's where the Jaguars will start it with 6:57 to go in the first quarter and already up by 7.
The defense has done a splendid job in the early going, not letting Vertus Webb get a good early start. That's what they did against Leroy McFadden last week. That helped enhance their chances to do well against Eden Prairie. Now they get a chance on offense once again. Only having to run one play this time. They're deep in their territory. And Cretin-Derham Hall's defense will try to pin them deep to try to get that good field position again.
Wings set already on 1st down, and the give will be to Bolden as Kenyatta hits the 15. Bolden to the 20, still on his feet as he gets to the 24-yard line before being brought down. And making the play on the near side for the Raiders, number 44, is David Cortez, a linebacker. Pickup of 14, though, and a Jefferson 1st down.
Big run by Kenyatta Bolden. Has appeared a face mask infraction on the run there. As you see, the interior lineman tried to stop Kenyatta getting the face mask, not called, though. Kenyatta Bolden, oh, it did. He did call it.
I guess they did give it to him.
Okay, good call. As Kenyatta Bolden, less than 40 yards last week, had a 36-yard touchdown called back. A pivotal part of the 3rd quarter against Eden Prairie. Good first carry for Bolden there, and tack on a little extra yardage.
I guess.
More than a little. I guess they give it the personal foul. 15. Ends up being about a 30-yard play and a big first down.
So they'll spot it at the 39-yard line, and it does. It amounts to a 29-yard play, so we'll certainly take that one as they come out with Gibbs to the near side. And again, they're in the wing set. Grimes on the left, Bolden on the right. Tia the deep back as Hofford is under center. Grimes in motion. The give is to Tia. Hawk cuts it inside to the 45, and he is stood up and eventually gang tackled there, but not before picking up 6 yards on the play. And being brought down on that play up the middle by the Cretin defense led by J.P. Goster, number 78.
Tia carrying tacklers here. Just an off-tackle play to the fullback. They try to soften up the middle. Tia had a big game against Edina, over 100 yards, used minimally against Edina, though, but he's a very important cog in this offense. 2nd and 4.
From the 45-yard line, 6 minutes to go in the quarter. Give to Bolden, left side Kenyatta, 45, 50, still on his feet to the 45, and tripped up at the 43-yard line. And making the big stop over there for the Raiders was number 33, Chris Hayter. If Hayter doesn't play off that block and make the tackle, Kenyatta is still going.
Yes, I'm sure Cretin-Derham Hall, they're very aware, cognizant of Brand Grimes, what he's brought to the field and how he's been featured. But Kenyatta Bolden's also another runner that has the ability to break off a big run anytime he gets the ball. And they're going to spread the ball around here a little bit more if they key on Grimes. 2 good runs by Bolden. A good block by Dave Grussing to let him get to the outside.
Jefferson's doing everything it will so far. 1st and 10. Counter to Grimes. And oh, the hole was open, but it quickly closed. And a nice play by the Raiders, led by number 44. That was Cortez again, who shut that hole down in a hurry. Nice opening for Brant, but he couldn't get through it, and it's 2nd and call it 9 on a gain of 1.
The key on the counter play for the linebackers to help out there and stay at home. That time Cortez did. They overrun the play. That allows the middle to be exposed, and we've seen what happens when Brant Grimes finds that seam that time. Good veteran defense stopping him for no gain, 2nd and 10.
Call it no gain on the play. 2nd and 10, Hoffer will roll for his first pass, and he shoots it, and it is caught, I believe. Yes, let's see here. They're going to give him the catch, I think.
It looks like he squeezed it in there.
Looks like Gibbs makes the grab at the 35-yard line, and that'll be about 2 yards shy of the first down.
Hoffer's first pass of the evening in tight coverage. A good catch by number 82, Matt Gibbs, as you see him thread it there. Close, but just scooping it off the ground was Gibbs.
3rd and 2 from the 35. Strong left this time. Again, they're in the wing. Grimes is in motion. He gets the carry. Brant turns it inside. Has the first down and more as he gets to the 25. Again, brought down by the last man. That was number
Rosga that time.
Also number 32, Brent Kozel. But a gain of 10, and it's first down.
The counter play this time. Grimes going a little bit wider, finding the opening. Sometimes they go up the middle. That time he went off right tackle, picking up 10 yards. That's 2 carries now for 39 yards.
From the 25, 1st and 10. And play action by Hoffer. Doug shoots it out to the right side of Tia. 20, 15. Tia to the 10, and he's out of bounds at about the 8-yard line, and it'll be goal to goal for the Jaguars. They'll spot it at the 9-yard line as again Rosga saves a tackle, but a gain of 16 on the play.
Tia, one of the unsung heroes. He had some big receiving games during the year and had a couple of dual touchdown games. He's a big threat, not only running as a fullback, he's a good receiver out of the backfield. They don't use them out of the backfield on a consistent basis, but tonight they've used him already in a couple situations and a big first down play.
Jefferson up by 7 and knocking at the door from the 9, 1st and goal. Kenyatta left side. Bolden trying to get to the quarter. Kenyatta is tripped up on a nice play by Hayter as he tripped up Bolden, and he might have had a good shot at the pylon. He picks up 1 yard, and it's 2nd and goal.
Cretin-Derham Hall has good speed on defenses. They've been able to make up for some of the good blocking up front to string out plays. Dave Grussing trying to spring Kenyatta Bolden outside. Couldn't quite get there as Hayter cut him off after just picking up, give him 1 yard, 2nd and goal from the 8.
Strong left as Gibbs is wide to the near side. Dan Brown in the game now as one of the wings. Or make that Grimes rather. And the shovel, and Grimes couldn't hang on as they tried to shovel past to Grimes. Don't know how far he would have got with it. It looked like it was covered pretty well. And it becomes 3rd and goal.
Looked like he had a little yardage. I don't know if he would have crossed the goal line, but the middle was there to gain some yardage and bring them closer to the end zone. But Grimes trying to run with it a little bit before he had it, turning his head. Ball falling harmlessly to the ground, fortunately. It was an incomplete pass. Offered now 2 of 3 for 25 yards. And another big 3rd down play coming up for Jefferson at the 8-yard line with just over 3 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Again, Tia the deep back, Grimes and Bolden the wings on 3rd and goal. And again, the give inside counter to Bolden. Kenyatta to the 3. And he is stopped
short,
just shy of the goal line as he gets to the 1. And that'll leave 4th and goal from the 1. And Stan Shea gets to make his first big call of the game.
The first big call in this early portion of the game could be very pivotal and very critical on the outcome of the game. So it'll be 4th and 1 from the 1-yard line, and inside reverse as they really know how to stretch a defense. And they've had Cretin-Derham Hall overrunning a couple plays, but Cretin-Derham Hall, you can see how well coached they are. They've been able to stop some of those runs before they really break off big yardage. And here we go with the big play at the 1-yard line.
4th and goal just outside the 1. Toss right side to Bolden, and he will score! On 4th and about 1.5 yards, number 24 takes it off the right side. Make it a 2-yard carry. He has 5 carries for 36 yards.
See him getting away from the attempted tackle by Ryan O'Connell. Good 2nd and 3rd effort. So it looked like he might be stopped short, but he twisted outside a little bit further and away from the tackle of McDonald to get outside and into the end zone to put Jefferson up by 13.
Mike Maxwell on for the PAT, and the kick is away, and it is good. Jefferson, 2 drives, 2 scores. That caps off a 10-play, 90-yard drive. Aided, of course, by the 15-yard personal foul face mask call against the Raiders, but the 4th down conversion, obviously a big call. And with 2:25 to go in the quarter, it's 14-0.
Yes, it's Jefferson hitting on all cylinders right now, as they've been able to run the ball with their inside counter. Big plays in that drive. Kenyatta Bolden's big run, as you mentioned, Mark, and the penalty tacked on, but also big play to Haktia, the full-back option pass, finding him in the flat, and he picked up 17 yards to help the 1st and goal situation come about, and finished off by Kenyatta Bolden. So Jefferson right now has early control of the game, but still a lot of football left to be played, and we'll see if Cretin-Derham Hall can bounce back. They haven't seen an offense like this, and they generally give up less than 5 points a game, but we knew that wasn't going to be the case here tonight, as they haven't faced an offense with the caliber of Jefferson.
Yeah, I have a feeling here Cretin knew they were in for a game, but I'm not quite sure they knew what they've walked into here. As Maxwell gets it away down the middle, and it will be Rozga who corrals it at the 10. They'll fake the reverse as Rozga gets out to the 15. Rozga to the 20, still on his feet to the 25, gets to the 30, still on his feet as he finally is pushed out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Nice execution anyway, as Rozga made a 24-yard gain out of it, and the Raiders will start their 3rd possession from their own 34.
Wouldn't be surprised soon if you saw one of the gadget plays there on the kickoff return. I wouldn't be surprised you see one of those from the line of scrimmage, as Tim Rozga's also been known to throw passes. And I'm sure Cretin-Derham Hall might try to vary a little bit from their offensive game plan and try to catch Jefferson napping on one of these situational plays. But in this 1st quarter, they have had good field position, Cretin-Derham Hall, but Jefferson's defense has done a good job with the wind and also with the squib kicks in this 1st quarter.
1 first down so far for the Raiders as they come out on a balanced set. Green to the left, Rozga to the right, Webb the lone back, and a double tight end set on 1st and 10. 2:05 to go here in the 1st. St. Aubin under center. It'll be Webb off the left side. Invertus Webb to the 45, still on his feet. Grinds his way out to the 47-yard line. Picks up about 8 on the play. And eventually brought down by the right side of that Jaguar defense. Grimes along with Wagner. And it's 2nd and short.
Here's Webb running behind one of their big Division I recruits, Jason Schwab. Good blocking on the left side. And he picks up 7 yards. His best carry of the evening. 6 for 17 yards now. 2nd down and 3 from the 43-yard line.
Rozga right again. Green to the left, I formation this time. And the give to Webb up the middle, and he crosses the 45. I think we saw a flag go down, though. Out to the 47-yard line. 1st down, apparently no flag. And again a 4.
2nd 1st down. Just a slashing off-guard play. Brutus Webb now with 7 carries already in the 1st quarter.
And go with a double tight end set now as Sinauer is slot to the far side. Rozga again to the near side. Webb in a deep tailback slot. He gets the carry, shakes off 1 tackle, turns it back inside, but he's going to lose yardage as he got back to the 46-yard line, which is better than he probably should have had, but nice play by him. Shook off a tackle, and it's 2nd and 12.
2nd time they've tackled Webb behind the line of scrimmage as Tom Erickson had the 1st shot, and you see how Webb can really get away from that 1st tackler. He's stocky and really well built, low to the ground, tough to bring down one-on-one. Still lost 1 yard, 2nd and 11.
Again, double tight end set. Green to the left, Rozga to the right on 2nd and a long 11. St. Aubin, long time under center here, now takes the snap and gives to Webb, and Webb will get a yard maybe at the most. In fact, he gets no gain. They'll give him back to the line of scrimmage. 9 carries for 19 yards now for Brutus, and it'll become 3rd and long.
Give credit to the guys up front, Jason Christopher, Travis Johansson, Adam Heisman, Dave Gruss, and Dan Richards. They've been trying to run to the left side behind their strong suited offensive line, but to no avail in the 1st quarter, and that's the way it ends.
It's been all Jefferson so far as we are in the state AA quarterfinals. We go to the 2nd. It's Jefferson 14, Cretin-Derham Hall nothing. You're watching Jaguar football on BEC Television, a station of champions.
Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Costner, Mr. Wong.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
My hero? Mrs. Wooten. If I don't get through to that child, who knows, maybe no one else will.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. Find out how by calling 1-800-45-TEACH. Be a teacher. Be a hero.
It is 3rd and 11 now for the Raiders from their own 46 as we open the second quarter of play. Strong right, 3 receivers set on 3rd down as St. Aubin rolls, fires, and it is caught by Rosga, but he's short of the first down. As he gets to the Jefferson 46, he's about 3 yards shy, and it'll be 4th and 3.
St. Aubin, a perfect 4 of 4. 3 of the 4 completions to Tim Rosga. Tim Rosga always a threat not only to make a big play but to score. Does get Cretin in a closer situation at a first down. But at 4th and 3, I don't think they would really want to take a chance, especially with Jefferson's offense clicking the way it has, to give them that great field position. So Rosga will be punting for the second time this evening. Cretin-Derham Hall 0 of 3 on 3rd downs.
We'll see if Cretin tries to take advantage of the wind here in the second quarter. They have it now. Grimes back to receive the punt by Rosga, who gets it away. Pretty good kick. Lands at the 15. Grimes fields at the 10. Brandt cuts to the left side, and he basically gets back to where he touched the ball. He'll go out of bounds at the 14-yard line, and that's where Jefferson will start it on their 3rd possession. Jefferson opened the scoring in this game. One play, a 29-yard run by Brandt Grimes off a turnover created. That made it 7-0 for Jefferson, just 1:47 into the game. And then the second time they had the ball, they went 90 yards. Took them 10 plays to do it. Kenyatta Bolden capped off a 4th and 2 play by scoring. And it's 14-0 Jaguars as Jefferson has their 3rd possession of the night. And the quick hitter to tee up the middle, tee out of the 30 to tee of 35, still on his feet as he's brought out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Octi on that quick hitter up the middle, good for 19 yards and a Jefferson first down.
They used Kenyatta Bolden going in motion as a decoy that time. That opened up the middle.
And we have a flag on the play.
And it might be coming back, though, as a big play last week came back following a Bolden touchdown. And unfortunately, this will go for naught. Probably a hold in the line somewhere.
First Jefferson penalty of the night. Yeah, somebody apparently thought a personal foul should have been called on Cretin. Yeah, they'll spot it back at the 8 on a hold, marking it half the distance. From the 8-yard line, it's 1st and actually 16, and the give is to Grimes off the right side, and Brandt has a tough go of it as he can't turn the corner. And he has eventually dropped back at the 8-yard line, so he gets nothing on the play. And leading the way for the Raiders was number 70, Jeremy Docks.
Docks finished him off. David Cortez helped slow down the play as they go outside with Brandt Grimes on a pitch. He not able to turn his shoulders and made him easier to contain. One of the few times he's been contained tonight. Make it a 2nd down, still 16 to go at the 8-yard line.
Gibbs to the near side again. They're in the wing formation. Hofford on a give to, I believe, Bolden. We'll double check that. And let's see here. Maybe that was T on the carry. No, it was Bolden. It has to be.
Tackle made by Jason Schwab, the well-revered defensive tackle, offensive tackle, slowed down, forced to go further inside by Jeremy Docks once again. It's a defensive line asserting itself here when it has to keep Cretin-Derham Hall in this game. They're somewhat in danger of being put out of if they don't start doing some positive things.
Yeah, from Cretin's end of it, the next touchdown is going to have to come from them. 9.5 left to go, second quarter. Jaguars by 2 touchdowns, 3rd and long. From their own 7, Grimes to the near side, and the counter to Bolden. Kenyatta breaks one tackle and can't break the second, though, as he's brought down to 10-yard line. Broke one tackle, but number 33, Chris Hayter, finished him off. Gain of 3, and it's time to punt.
Well, they've been running the counter play almost exclusively with Bolden and Grimes. They might have to vary their attack as Cretin-Derham Hall is a well-schooled team, and we saw what Eden Prairie did in the second half to shut down the counter. And early going, they may have some success with it, but it's a play that you really get situational success, but not throughout a whole game.
Rosga and Webb back to receive the punt from Bolden, who's kicking out of his end zone. He gets it away. Good kick, high kick, and it'll be Webb at midfield. Webb cuts it to the left side. Webb shakes off one tackle to the 45, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Mike Wagner was down there to help push him out. But the Raiders start their best field position of the night. 1st and 10 from the Jaguar 42.
This is Cretin-Derham Hall's first really legitimate chance to try to get back in this game following the 2 touchdowns by Jefferson. They have the ball on Jefferson's side of the 50 following the 40-yard punt and 8-yard return by Vertus Webb. And a good defensive stand gives them a chance now to try and cut into this lead they've seen for most of this first half.
To the near side is Senauer, Green, and Rosga to the right on 1st and 10. St. Aubin under center. He will give to Webb. Webb gets a crease to the 40, down to the 35-yard line as Vertus Webb picks up 7 yards on the play. And getting off the pile, Wagner along with Christopher. But Webb now 10 carries for 26 yards.
Still going to try to go with one of the premier players that have helped them get this far. They're still going to give Vertus Webb his carries, knowing he could break one at any time. Time picking up 6 yards on first down. 2nd and 4 now from just inside the 36.
Knippel in the game now to block. Balance set, Green to the left, Rosga to the right on 2nd and short. And Cornea is the tailback, but the give is to Rosga. And he is still on his feet as he's down to the 20-yard line. Just a quick out to Rosga with the soft coverage out there, and he took it all the way down to the Jefferson 21-yard line.
They attacked the weak side after Jefferson shifted their defense. They took advantage of that as Rosga's been finding the holes in the defense. Time the soft coverage on the strong side allowed him to get 15 yards, already 4 receptions rather for 40 yards. And St. Aubin perfect, 5 for 5 on the night.
From the 22-yard line, 1st and 10, I formation. And St. Aubin on a play action, rolls to the right, and he fires, and it is caught at the 5-yard line and brought down at the 4-yard line by Van Gemmert. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Raiders from the Jaguar 4.
Well, Cretin-Derham Hall showing if maybe their running game gets detained a little bit, they still have other weapons we spoke of in the pregame that they can go to net them some success. They've used Rosgan this time. Sean Van Gemmert picking up 18 yards to put Cretin-Derham Hall in a 1st and goal situation inside the 5.
First threat of the night for the Raiders from the 4-yard line, 1st and 10, I formation. Rosga to the left, double tight end set. Give is to Webb up the middle, and Webb will fight to the goal line but not get over it as they mark him down at the 1-yard line. And meeting in the pile for that Jaguar defense, Dan Richards. Grusing also in on the tackle.
Richards helping slow him down, Grusing helping to finish him off as Webb. Tough customer to bring down, but they stop him just short of that second surge. It would have put him in the end zone, 2nd and goal.
From the 2-yard line, 6:40 to go in the half. Again, I formation, and it'll be St. Well, you know they weren't going to shut him out.
Or shut him down totally for a 4-quarter game, as Cretin-Derham Hall is showing why they're the perennial team they are, coming back following a little adversity early. To come back with a good drive following the punt that gave them good field position. And they methodically moved the ball down with some good passing and finishing it off with St. Albans' run.
And we got flags now as Either a false start or an offsides, I would think. Unless they get a delay. A false start on the Raiders. That'll back them up 5. Tim Rosga doing all the kicking chores for the Raiders. And, of course, that's a very familiar name at Cretin Sports, as well as college football.
It's Rosga at Colorado and at the U of M. Whose footsteps he'll follow in. Guess we'll see.
Slightly athletic family.
Just a little bit.
The kick will be from the 15, so it'll be a 25-yard point after attempt. High snap, but he gets it down, and Rosga's kick is right down the middle. So we've got a good one going as Cretin responds on a 42-yard drive. Took him 5 plays to get into the end zone as St. Aubin takes it over from 2 yards out. And with 6:35 to go in the half, Cretin now has cut the margin in half, and it's 14-7.
Cretin-Derham Hall posing more of a threat, I believe, than Eden Prairie in their varied attack, being able to throw some receivers at Jefferson also, as Jason Kapsner, Eden Prairie, a good quarterback, but they really don't have the receiving core, and surely not a receiver with the talent that Tim Rosga has, and that's what's helped put him back into the game. Is Vertus Webb only 29 yards in the early going with that combination in that drive of Rosga and Van Gimmert, and we haven't even seen Devon Green who can really stretch a defense. So this game is a long way to go, and sure, this is going to be a lot of points scored, probably by both sides in this one. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think we're done seeing the scoreboard change here. So St. Aubin unofficially 5 out of 5 for 61 yards. He's looked awfully good, and so has Hofford, who's 2 out of 3 for 24. Rosga gets it in the way. Deep kick down the middle, and this will be Thompson, and he stepped into the end zone. And that wonderful rule will take effect now as they'll start the ball from the 20.
Little mix-up on who should take that kickoff between Grimes and Keith Thompson. That's what caused the stepping in the end zone by Keith Thompson, but fortunately they held on to the ball, didn't start off fumbling it. They could have maybe caused some problems, but Jefferson now has got to try and get back on track as Cretin has carried the momentum here in the second quarter.
Gibbs wide to the near side from the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Grimes in motion, and Brandt gets the carry, and he breaks one tackle. Now he's out to the 25. Grimes still on his feet, turns it inside, across the 30, and a first down.
Great individual effort by Grimes there. It's good steal block by Paul Kane, helped him get outside, and he got away from Tim Rosga, who's a very good defensive player. First down, their first one in a while.
Grimes now 5 carries for 49 yards. Has scored a touchdown. Jaguars now from the 30 after a gain of 10. Gibbs to the left side. Hofford under center. Grimes in motion, and he will do the inside reverse, not a Bolden. Kenyatta gets to the corner, 35, still on his feet. Oh, and he got dropped at the 39-yard line. If he'd have got it on one more guy, he'd have had the corner. But a nice play on the outside as
Rosga, I believe, came to cut him down. I think Bolden might have got one on the knee, but he got up pretty quickly. Might have set out a play, but good hard tackle by Tim Rosga. These guys really can get around lateral, as you see Rosga covering the outside there. Jefferson finding it harder to get outside than they've had in recent games, as Cretin-Derham Hall has good defensive speed and good positional players. They know where they're supposed to be, and they've overrun early counter plays, but they've been right where they should be since the earlier parts of the game.
Yeah, the Cretin defensive staff has made some nice adjustments. Jefferson, the first 2 possessions, did whatever they wanted, but you can see the Raider defense is starting to adjust now and stiffen. Gain of 4 on the play, and it is 2nd and 1. Or gain of 9, rather, as Hofford is backfires over the middle, and it is incomplete. Rosga nearly made the reception, or the interception, rather. And it becomes 3rd and 1.
Maybe an ill-advised play there. Good last-minute closing speed by Rosga, but seemed to be pretty well covered as Hofford tried to squeeze it into Grimes. Fortunately, falling to the ground incomplete, as Rosga had pretty good inside coverage and almost snagged that one, but it fell to the ground. 3rd and 1 from the 39.
Christopher, the deep back, now on a double, or make that a Strong left set. Jason off the right side has the first down as he gets out to the 45-yard line on a first down. Making the tackle for the Raiders, number 87, John Hunter. But it's a 6-yard gain, and the Jaguars pick up their second first down of the drive.
Good blocking up front, and Christopher, a good hard runner, doesn't net many carries, but picks up the tough yardage, he and Tia, when they need it. Christopher, a good two-way performer, plays on that good defensive line. See, once again, Paul Kane helping run a little interference, and a 6-yard gain for Christopher helps Jefferson get their 6th first down of the half.
Strong left, Gibbs to the left side. 5:20 to go in the half. And this will be Tia working the left side. Hawk does not get to the outside, and he is drilled into the ground. Tony Giuliani making the tackle, number 77. In fact, it's a no gainer for Tia, and it's 2nd and 10.
Play a little bit tougher to run with Tia, who's a good straight ahead runner, but not the most elusive or fleet of foot. And they tried to use Tia on the inside counterplay that time. He wasn't able to get outside as it was stood up pretty well. Dave Gressing tried to provide the block, but once again, Cretin-Derham Hall is asserting itself on defense, making those yards more grudging. They lose a yard there, 2nd and 11.
Gibbs way to the near side on 2nd and 11 to go. And in comes the inside counter now, and there goes Grimes, 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 50-10, forget it, he's gone! Yards. And I would say that play was executed pretty well.
Yes, it was, as they've used that on occasion in this game. The inside reverse, they think if that counter gets stopped, they then get over pursuit there and go with the second option inside. And Grimes, who finished 2nd in the 400-yard dash in the last state track meet to Washburn Randy Melbourne. You can see the speed there in the open field. We've seen it all year long.
Maxwell's PAT is good. And with 4:25 to go in the half, Jefferson has responded just like that.
See, once again, they get the over pursuit, come in on Hopper and trap Bolden, but Grimes found the opening. And with that great speed, you can see how he runs that play has a different effect opposed to when a Hawk Tia runs it. Once again, Grimes is in the end zone for the 5th time in game and a half. It's unbelievable what this guy can really do. And he has another gear, that other gear you talk about, certain players have, and he really brings it to the field.
What a storybook season so far for Grant Grimes. Tonight, 6 carries, 105 yards, has scored 2 touchdowns, and 1994 has been pretty good to him when you count last spring and this fall.
Yes, he's been a long-time performer in the Bloomington program. Started out in the Kennedy system as a quarterback for 8 years and came to this program playing in the secondary, and this year has really filled a lot of spots they lost, and it's really given them a lot of success.
Webb on one hop at the 10, Vertis out to the 15 to the 20, and he is brought down at the 25, and we have a fumble, but I think the Raiders have it back. As getting it back for Cretin was number 25, Pat Flynn, falling in the loose ball. But they will spot it at the 25, and the Raiders will start for the 5th time tonight.
Shows the most points Cretin-Derham Hall has faced in a half all season long, as they've given up only 4.3 points a game. Even though they gave up 28 to Mounds View, that was some of that was in the second half. So they're facing a challenge here where their offense is really going to have to do something to keep themselves in the game, and the defense too is just seeing themselves stretched to the limits here tonight.
4 minutes to go, first half of play. Well staggered set, rather strong left. And it will be Webb off the left side, and he gets out to the 28-yard line before being brought down rather quickly. And making the stop for the Jaguars was Travis Johansson along with Grusing. Gain of 2, and it's 2nd and 8.
Good back pursuit by Grusing to help out on that tackle as they provided interference. Good block on Christopher there, but good filling in by the interior lineman to hold that to a short gain, 2nd and 8.
Ross go to the right, and Sinauer to the left. On 2nd and 8, as St. Aubin will give to Webb on the delay, and he gets about a yard, and that's going to be at his Heisman. was the first to get a hold of him and throw him into the turf. And Virtus now 13 carries for only 31 yards. And it's now third and a passing situation.
Adam Heisman, one of the key guys up front, having to take on sometimes 2 blockers, shedding the blocks that time. He had 12 solo tackles and 4 assists last week against Eden Prairie. Filling in well there as they've really shut down Virtus Webb in the first half. 3rd down and 6 now from the 29.
Strong right this time. Sinauer to the near side. Green in the slot to the right. Roscoe wide to the right. Webb the lone back. St. Alban back. Deep drop. Has time. Looks and he throws over the middle. And it's caught by. Oh, a drop by Roscoe. Oh, he had it in his hands for a moment. I thought he was going to get more out of that play, but he couldn't hang on, and it's 4th down. And the Jaguars will get the ball back with 2:31 to go in the half.
Just a seam pattern run as he had beaten Tom Erickson and also Keith Thompson to the spot there. And good pass protection. St. Alban hasn't seen the rush come in his face all night. And when he gets that type of protection, he's going to find his receivers. That's the first incompletion for Cretin, and by no fault of John St. Alban by any means. 4th down, though, and Jefferson will be getting the ball back. It's a 3rd punt by Tim Roska here tonight.
And this time Hawk Tia will be back to receive the punt. He's at his own 35. Oh, and they get it away. And it will bounce and take a Cretin hop. It'll be a great hop for the Raiders, and it'll roll dead at about the 23-yard line. So they get about a 20-yard plus bounce. And with 2:19 to go in the half, the Jaguars will take the field offensively for the 5th time tonight. And I think this is a pretty pivotal point here because, for one, Jefferson gets the second half kickoff. So it could be a while before Cretin's offense is back in the field. And the way they've been moving the ball, 28, maybe even 35 to 7 is not out of the question.
No, it isn't. We saw it was pivotal last week as Eden Prairie had the ball before the half and they scored a touchdown. They had the possession first time in the 3rd quarter, and that helped their cause. So see if Jefferson can take advantage.
From the 23-yard line, pitch to Christopher. Jason to the 25, 30, out to the 35. He fumbles the ball, but the Jaguars have recovered back at the 32-yard line, so they still get some decent yardage out of it. In fact, they almost even got a 1st down out of that whole play, but they pick up 9 and it's 2nd and short.
Most importantly, they pick up the fumble as Grimes in the right place, perfectly positioned, fortunately, as Christopher not used to carrying the ball in the open field. That time had the ball not shielded there as the tacklers came verging in on him. He didn't cover the ball well. Fortunately, Grimes was there to cover up the fumble, the first fumble Jefferson's had in a while, but they didn't turn it over. That was a big thing. 2nd and 1 as they measure. I think they're a little short, though. Less than a yard, probably, but still short.
First fumble of the game for Jefferson. Cretin has had 2. They lost 1, and that cost them right away on Jefferson's first score. You see there, they need about a foot. On 2nd and short, 1:45 to go in the half. Each team with their full complement of timeouts. As they will line up strong left as Gibbs is way wide to the far side. Christopher the deep back, Grimes and Bolden in the wings as Hofford is under center. He'll take the snap, play action pass, goes long down the near side for a Bolden. Oh, and he overshot him at the 35. He got the step though on Ben Kozel. Kozel on the coverage. Kenyatta got a step behind him, but the pass unfortunately was a little tall.
That time they held the secondary man long enough for Bolden to get deep on the inside play action. And Bolden was open as the pass just a little bit strong. Hofford's only thrown the ball 5 times this half, completing 2. That would have been a big play, but instead it's 3rd and still short from the 33.
Same formation on 3rd and a foot. Give to Christopher, and Christopher has the 1st down as he crosses the 35, and he's out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock with 1:28 to go in the half as he picks up 2 yards on the play.
Crushing block as Paul Kane's having a great half. That time he took out the linebacker Pat Flynn. That helped Christopher get inside him and pick up the necessary yardage, but just sublime blocking as you see on the left side. The tackle being made by Jeremy Docks, who's had himself a good half for Cretin-Derham Hall. Already 5 solo tackles. 1:28 left. And right now, the star, I'd say, of the half, of course, Mark Brant Grimes with the 2 touchdowns over 100 yards and showing great hustle, helping to keep this alive and to, if nothing less, keep Jefferson with possession and not giving the ball up deep in their territory.
Yeah, they've Grimes have been pretty well, but I would think the stars of the first half, what you're mentioning, Daryl, is that offensive line. John Anderson, Dave Grusing, Bart McKee, Paul Kane, Josh Hansen, and of course the tight end Aaron Sinclair. Somebody had to open those holes for Grimes, and well, they've just dominated the line of scrimmage here in the first half. And they have taken their first time out, Jefferson, by the way, with 1:28 to go in the half. But the offensive line has played very, very well.
Yes, they've had one of the top offensive lines all year long as they've really opened the holes and given Hofford great protection all year long as he's been sacked very few times all year. Only 1 sack against that Frying Eden Prairie defense last week. And none against Edina and only 1 against Apple Valley. So that offensive line has been one of the keys, of course. That's where it starts.
1st and 10 from the 35. Play action by Hofford. Wants the screen left side, and it's intercepted. Uh-oh, you could see that one coming. Number 22, Dan Weeby. And the Raiders get a huge break with 1:21 to go in the half.
The time the pursuit pushing Hofford deeper and deeper, and he in desperation tried to throw the ball where it was telegraphed at that point. Would have been better to just throw it into the ground. Unfortunately he didn't, and Cretin-Derham Hall has a chance to tighten this one up late in the half.
Raiders from the Jaguar 33. Strong right this time as St. Aubin on a play action pass wants to throw, and he is sacked back at the 35-yard line. Cruising in there to make the tackle along with
Richards first
as
there,
well.
got him. Defense has been tested all year long. They've allowed just over 10 points a game in the regular season. They faced a lot of high-powered late conference teams, and see one reason why they've been able to halt a lot of offensive progress. Good defensive rush there by Grussing and Richards, first to get to him. Timeout with 55 seconds as Cretin-Derham Hall tries to get back into this one.
Here you see part of the jam-packed crowd here at Bloomington Stadium tonight. Probably about 7,000 people here in attendance tonight overall.
Very few parking spots anywhere near the stadium. First time we've seen that here in 6 years.
And I would venture to say that the city of Bloomington is going to make some parking fee money tonight as far as tickets writing.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw a few coming in myself that were questionable parking around the streets and even in the lot and some of the handicapped spots.
2nd and 13 from the 36. Balance set, 55 seconds to go in the half. St. Aubin under center. On the delay, not a Webb. Webb gets to the left side to the 35. Webb still on his feet as he's pushed out the 32-yard line. And Mike Maxwell getting over there to make the stop after Webb picks up 4 yards, and it's going to be 3rd and 9.
Tried to get Webb to run to daylight, but stringing it out pretty well as Jefferson as they force him to the sidelines, only giving up maybe 3, maybe 4 yards, depending on the spot on that. But because of the sack, they still have 3rd and 10. So all in all, Jefferson's defense doing the job. Now they need another big 3rd down play. They've stopped Cretin on all 3rd down plays. They really need it here.
3rd and almost 10. 3 receivers set now. Sunauer to the near side. Green slot right. Roscoe wide right as St. Aubin is back. Deep drop. He's under pressure. Throws over the middle, and it is incomplete. As it was intended for Roscoe. Basically threw into triple coverage, and the pass was also behind him. Actually, Cretin's lucky they got the ball back, and it's 4th down.
Good coverage in the middle, and Josh Tetner, the pass rushing specialist, coming in to push St. Aubin a little bit out of the pocket, as you see there, pushing him a little bit to his right. And good coverage there as Wagner, along with Travis Johansson, who dropped back in coverage, oddly enough, stopped them. And it's 4th down, and they're going to go for it, of course, here in this part of the game.
41 seconds to go in the half. Same set again. 3 receivers, 2 to the right. Webb the lone back. St. Aubin is back. Here comes the rush. Fires over the middle, and it's incomplete. Here you see there 37 seconds to go in the half, and the Jaguars will take it over on downs, holding Cretin Hall 4 and out.
Defense proving its mettle once again. Very adverse situation, not allowing Cretin to gain any yards, as it was still a 10-yard situation, a sack, and then Webb picking up 3 yards to make up for that. But they couldn't get anything going. They tried once again to find the deep seam route, well covered. Jefferson has a chance to run out the clock.
And let's see if they do here, if they try and get something here. Hofford under center. And the counter to Grimes, 35. Grimes to the 40. Brought down at the 42-yard line as he picks up what appears to be a first down. As Brandt just adds to his already staggering total here in the first half. And they'll give him 10 yards and a first down.
Brant Grimes, over 600 yards rushing in the regular season. And here so far, the last 2 games, netting that in all-purpose yardage and rushing yardage. He'll be approaching the 300-yard mark pretty soon. So he'll have half his yearly total in just about a quarter and a half here, and that's pretty amazing.
Well, offensively, you know, and statistics-wise, they never ranked real high in terms of total offense. Defensively, they did, of course, in the points allowed area. But in terms of yards given up, they weren't real statistically that impressive either. But these last, 3 games prior to this one against Apple Valley, Edina, and Eden Prairie against some pretty tough competition, some of the toughest in the state. Defensively, they have just come out, but offensively, I'm really surprised. I mean, 35 on Apple Valley, 35 on Eden Prairie. And after getting only 10 on Edina the first time around, it was a little hard to envision.
Yeah, a little hard to envision, kind of perplexing at some points of the season with some of the players they have that they weren't able to score points. I believe they really have become more focused, seeing what's really at stake, and they've really clicked. And also there have been some games like the Egan game where they eked out a 10-7 win where they outgained Egan like yardage 3-1. But had a lot of mistakes in scoring position that inhibit them from scoring. And I think they've ironed out, obviously, some of those problems that have helped their cause. And it's one of the reasons they've been scoring points. And some players have just come to the forefront more and more, as Brant Grimes, you mentioned. Mark has really come alive. We hadn't seen this in the earlier part of the season, but they featured him more and more, and he's really delivered.
Jaguars have called their second timeout. That's why we have the delay. We have 30 seconds to go in the half. Jefferson up by 14. Gibbs to the left side. And let's see if they try and get something out of this drive. Second and short. As Hofford on a play action. Now the shovel to Grimes as he gets out of one tackle, gets to the 45. And that's about it. Got 3 yards, but actually got the first down on that. It was second short. So they'll give him 3 yards. Hofford now unofficially 3 out of 6 for 27 yards.
See the quick shovel pass and covered very well by Cretin-Derham Hall. They've done well against that play. John Hunter that time making the tackle. Just minimal gain, but primary thing there was to get the first down and to keep possession, and Jefferson has done that, and they have 7 first downs to 4 here in the first half, and have a chance to run out the clock or maybe take a shot at the end zone, which I'm sure we'll probably see here in the waning moments of the first half.
Well, if they had the wind in their back, you may even look at a field goal here, but that will probably be ruled out. As you see, the Jaguars now have burned their last time out of the half. The ball is on the Jaguar 45. A couple of items we'd like to mention. Our congratulations also to Jack Evans, who tonight is being inducted into the Minnesota High School Hall of Fame.
Jack Evans has won 4 state titles, over 500 games he's garnered under his belt, and the victory side for Jefferson. And he's been one of the top coaches for quite a while. Luminaries coming out there like Steve Lingenfelter and, of course, more renowned Kevin Lynch.
So we are on the 45-yard line, 1st and 10. 24 ticks left to go in the half. Hofford on a play-action pass. Has time, fires over the middle, and it's intercepted by Rozga at the 35-yard line. Sinclair had it in his hands, and it tipped out of his hands. Rozga makes his first INT of the night. Cretin has picked off Hofford twice here in the first half, but with 14 seconds to go in the half, don't think anything will come out of it.
Let's hope not, as looking for Sinclair has a long developing pattern, a little bit tall, catchable ball, a little bit strong for Sinclair. He didn't really put as good an effort as you'd like to see, not really leaving his feet there, and Rosga once again in good defensive position to pick it off. Webb picking off the first pass. Rosga having kind of a tough half, but Cretin-Derham Hall, they do have a very tough secondary. And very little holes out there, and you got to take advantage of them when you find them. And that one didn't connect. There's still 14 seconds left. Hopefully that won't come back to haunt him late in this second quarter.
Yeah, it's very unlike Aaron Sinclair. Has pretty good hand. That's surprising to see. But
he had that big catch that almost ended the game in regulation against Eden Prairie. Almost some big catches.
that was one of the most incredible games I have seen in quite a while, on any level. I mean, even regardless of whether you're watching college or pro game, you're up 28-7 on the top-ranked team's field, and you could just kind of slowly see him chip away there in the second half, and in the overtime, and after all the yardage being gained and all the spectacular plays being made and all the drama involved, a missed extra point decided the whole game.
It's unfortunate it came down to that, but almost had the feeling maybe something in the more bizarre manner would have to happen for one of the teams to win. We saw all kinds of offense by both teams, and Jefferson came out on top, fortunately.
Strong left now with 14 seconds to go in the half. Cretin on their own 41. St. Aubin on a deep drop, and here comes the rush. They tried the screen to Rosga on the wide receiver screen, or flanker screen rather, but it was incomplete, and there's 10 seconds to go.
That's Josh Tetner coming in to provide the rush. Once again, they've used him in the late part of the season in pass rushing situations. He's like a rushing up linebacker, and he came in uncontested that time. Or excuse me, Nick Tetner. I keep confusing with his brother who played here recently. Number 56, Nick Tetner coming in. The big rush, second down.
Seems like Josh played here about 7 years, though. He was here a starter for quite a long time. 10 seconds to go in the half. St. Aubin is back. Here comes the rush. He steps inside, lets it go over the middle, and it is caught. Green making the grab at the 35-yard line, and a nice catch there. And with 3 seconds to go in the half, the Raiders have called, I believe, a timeout. Yes, they have. They have one left, but they've only got time for one play here. And I got to think that Rosga's got a decent leg, but not from this distance.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit stretching it from his range there. As good pass there. Nick Tetner coming in on the rush. Couldn't stop St. Aubin from getting that to Devon Green. Had a big game against Mounds View last week.
24 yards on the reception from St. Aubin to Green. It's Green's first grab of the night.
St. Aubin now 7 of 11, having a pretty good half for 84 yards. No interceptions. Jefferson has done a pretty good job, though, on Tim Rosga since the early part of the game. He's had 4 receptions, but they've minimized his gains. And the thing about him is minimizing his runs after the reception. They've done that fairly well in the first half as you see them come back onto the field. This last play most likely of the first half.
Yeah, they're gonna try for the end zone here as Senauer wide to the near side, Rosga in the slot to the left side, Green wide to the right, Webb the lone back. Last play of the half. St. Aubin back. Here comes the rush. Fires over the middle as he was hit and is tipped, and it is incomplete. And getting into the stick St. Aubin as he unloaded was Nick Tetner, number 56. And the first 24 minutes of play have come to an end here at Bloomington Stadium. Terrific half of football for Jefferson. As we go to the break, it's Jefferson 21, Cretin-Derham Hall 7, and you're watching Jaguar football on BEC Television, the station of champions.
That's my baby!
You've only got one chance. Get hooked on sports. It's a habit you can live with.
Sponsored by the National Sporting Goods Association.
Todd Erickson live down on the sidelines with sports editor of the Sun Current newspaper, Greg Clevin. With the score, Jefferson 21, Cretin-Derham Hall 7. Greg, tell us your analysis of the first half, what you thought.
I think everyone was concerned about Cretin's massive offensive line, which averages around 260 pounds, but I think Jefferson just proved that if you've got some quickness and you hit attack the right holes, you can gain a lot of good yardage, and Grimes has done a lot of damage, Bolden, and they're really hurting Cretin with their traps up the middle. They're trapping those big linemen and getting monster holes.
Now the big matchup was Jefferson had Grimes, Cretin-Derham Hall had Vertus Webb. What's happening to Vertus Webb tonight? Why is he being stymied by the Jefferson defense?
He's trying to get wide on the Jefferson defense, and the outside linebackers for Jefferson and the defensive ends are doing a great job in containing him, forcing him to turn back inside, and Jefferson is gang tackling very well, and that's what you need to do to bring down a big back like that.
What we saw in Creighton's only touchdown was good passing, what got him downfield. We can see that in the second half, or what is Creighton going to do to move the ball against this quick Jefferson defense?
I think Cretin will have to go to the passing attack, especially if the clock becomes a factor. And they've got Rozga, that's a tremendous wide receiver, Division I prospect. He dropped a pass, but he catches a lot more, and he's already made about 3 or 4 big plays. Jefferson's done a great job just holding this Cretin team to 7 points. Cretin's averaged, I think, 30 points or more a game, and this is quite a tribute to the Jaguar defense.
Creighton is a very explosive team we've seen in the past few weeks. Jefferson, the other side of the ball, Jefferson. Last week they scored 28 points in the first half against Eden Prairie, up 28-7. They don't score again till the overtime period. What's Jefferson going to have to do to keep up the pressure on the Creighton offense?
Well, they have to come out here with intensity because, the game plan right now, Cretin doesn't have anything to lose, down 14 points. You might see some trick plays early in the half, but I think Cretin will try to establish the running game again. If they can't, then you'll see nothing but passing. But Jefferson's going to have to continue to gang tackle those big backs for Cretin. They've been running them in and out, and sooner or later they might crack one, and that's what Stan Shea's got to worry about.
On Jefferson offensively, what do you expect them to do the second half?
They've done the same thing they've done from game one. They're wide open. When you have a Stan Shea coach team, they'll throw the screen passes, traps up the middles. They'll utilize 2-3 wide receivers, hit their tight end. He's always been one of the best offensive-minded high school coaches in the state.
All right. More of the same from Jefferson then. Final score of the game, prediction for you.
I said 24-21 Jefferson at the start. It might be a little high scoring than that, but I'd say it's going to be about a 31-24 game, I think.
So stick around. Jefferson. So stick around. We got more offense to come at you live at BEC.
Here's a not-so-fun fact, Vince.
And what is that, your Larryness?
A rollover happens every 10 minutes.
How long have we been driving?
9 minutes and 58.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Oh, this job is wearing very thin.
Welcome back to our venue here at Bloomington on a rather pleasant November evening. Jefferson enjoying a 21-7 lead. Second week in a row they've enjoyed a 2-touchdown lead going into the second half. See if they can maintain it and build upon it. Let's look at the numbers throughout the half to see how we got to the point we are now. Look at those total yards, almost 2-1, as Cretin-Derham Hall has not really gotten their running game underway. We'll see if they can accentuate that and still try to establish it in the second half. The big thing at the bottom you would think would keep Cretin-Derham Hall in the game, but hasn't, is the turnovers. 2 interceptions, one by Webby and one by Rozga. But they haven't hurt Jefferson, as one interception around the 33-yard line of Jefferson didn't net any points for Cretin-Derham Hall, as the defense stiffened, didn't allow them to gain any yardage. And the running yardage, most of that
by Brant Grimes on Jefferson's side. You see the 182 yards. You see that deficiency there as far as Cretin-Derham Hall is concerned. And they'll try to remedy that in the second half. And the penalties, one on both sides, not much effect there. And overall, Jefferson had a good half, take away the turnovers, and they played very solid on defense, established what they wanted to do running the counter plays. They've used a couple of different gadgets, using Tia and Christopher a little more than we've seen in the earlier part of the season. But all in all, Jefferson has been clicking on all cylinders throughout this run in the region tournament, now the state tournament, following the Edina game where they staggered, and they seem to build upon it each game. And this first half is an indicator of how they've really come on in the second half of the season.
Yeah, momentum, they clearly have it at this point. It's just been building and building and building. And we even talked about this before the Eden Prairie game. After the Apple Valley win, they clearly mentally cleared a hurdle as far as they really knew that they belonged on this level. And you beat the number 4 team in the state on their own field, and you go to the number 1 team's field and you beat them, and now you're coming home and they're just oozing with confidence right now. They're not being overconfident or cocky, but they just seem to have the whole demeanor about I don't think there's a team out there that can beat us. That's their entire attitude.
And they have that attitude knowing what they've done, accomplishing, finishing second in one of the strongest, if not the strongest, conferences in the state. And we've seen over the years, we've been doing these games since '89, how they've always run into that hurdle. Burnsville usually in their way, and they couldn't beat Apple Valley last year or Burnsville in the regular season, losing close games in the waning moments and losing a close one to Burnsville in the sectional championship. This year they got past both of those teams. I think that was one of the big things that helped boost their confidence. That 22-7 win over Burnsville here on this field September 30th, I think that was one of the vaulting points that helped carry them through the season. And as you mentioned, that Apple Valley game, that helped them even more. And sky's the limit, definitely.
No question about it. 2 teams, as you see, are back on the field. And we still have about just over 2 minutes to go before we start the second half. And as Daryl ran down some numbers as well, some numbers about Cretin-Derham Hall overall. Rich Kallick is the head coach. He's in his 14th season at the helm of Cretin-Derham Hall football. He's got a career record of 93-41. And Mal Scanlon, of course, for many, many years ran this football program. They actually had a co-coach set up with Rich and Mal, but very, very strong program. Been a St. Paul power for many, many years. And they just, the question of them, again, is it's an old cliche in terms of football powers, but they don't rebuild, they just reload. They've been to the state tournament 5 consecutive years, counting this year. They also made an appearance in '88. They've been to the Prep Bowl twice, and they had the misfortune of running into Lakeville once, and Burnsville, I believe, once.
Apple Valley,
that's right,
just
Apple
last
Valley.
year.
Yeah, Apple Valley, that's what it was.
9-7 game, very good game. They've been close to a championship several occasions, and they're always one to knock on the door, haven't quite gotten there to win one. Jefferson has gotten to the championship game twice, in 1974 losing to John Marshall, and more recently '83 losing a tight one to Coon Rapids. So it's been 10 years, 11 years really, since they've been to the championship game, and they hope to continue their path through a very tough conference and through a tough sectional and through a tough opponent here into the next round, which will be either Park Cottage Grove or Alexandria. Park Cottage Grove pulling off a big win over Stillwater in their sectional final. Stillwater had won 10 years in a row, and that's been one of the more dominant teams in their region in the state. So Park Cottage Grove might be in next opponent, but right now Cretin-Derham Hall is the opponent for another half Jefferson has to overcome to go to the next round.
Park Cottage Grove, too, we saw them about 3 years ago when they came in here at the season-ending game against Kennedy and just totally whitewashed the Eagles on that night. But obviously Sam Jacobson, a name very synonymous with Park Cottage Grove athletics, not only in basketball, pretty good football player as well. But the Wolf Pack from Park Cottage Grove are a pretty good outfit. And Alexandria is a lot like Lakeville. They're kind of riding that Cinderella season. And Alexandria, they've only won 5 games over the last 3 years. I think something like that. And so they, and Lakeville, of course, another Cinderella team taking on Anoka tonight. And I'm sure you make a cut looking ahead here, but just in case Jefferson does win and you want to pick an opponent, Alexandria is definitely the team that you want.
And looking a little further ahead, we shouldn't do that, but possible matchup in the championship could be two Lake Conference teams. That's really getting ahead of ourselves as Lakeville's in the other bracket, but they have to go against the Anoka Tornadoes tonight, and I'm sure that's quite a task at hand they'll have to overcome.
Wouldn't that be something to play that team a second time around? Ready to start the second half. Thompson is on the left, Grimes is on the right, as Rozga is ready to get it in the air, and he does. Liner down the middle. It takes a bounce to Grimes at the 15. Prant now across the 20 to the 25. And he is dropped at the 26, maybe 7-yard line, and that'll be it. That's where the Jaguars will start the second half of play from their own 26-yard line.
See if Jefferson varies much from their attack, as Cretin-Derham Hall in the second half did a better job of stopping the counter play, but they were still able to break off some pretty good yardage on certain plays with Grimes. Grimes getting 2 touchdowns in the first half, and Bolden 1 early in the game.
And they come out in a strong left as Gibbs is to the near side, and again they're in the wing, which they have been for most of the last 2-3 games. Quick hitter to Tia, I believe, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And middle of that Cretin-Derham Hall line brings him down, led by number 72 Terrence Gillette.
Simple dive play to the fullback there as they start off the second half. Cretin-Derham Hall really had a good second half defensively as they stymied the running game better in the second quarter, and they're going to need that here in the second half to force Doug Hofford into more passing situations. Their very renowned secondary is very tough, and Hofford found very few holes in those zones in that first half.
2nd and 10 from their own 26 as Bolden is in motion. Hofford on a play action, fires over the middle of Christopher. Christopher to the 35, near the first down marker. He just may have it as well on a great extra effort there. Jason Christopher out to the 37-yard line. That should be good for a first down.
Good effort as they're using the fullbacks more extensively in this game than we've seen. As they're able to do that, they don't have to feature them because they have Grimes and Bolden, and they may be somewhat inactive throughout the game, but this time they've been used pretty well as Tia has a reception, and now Christopher, you see, getting his first reception. And between the two of them, they have 6 carries on the ground, picked up a couple big first downs, and Tia has a reception for 17, and now Christopher just short of a first down here on that reception.
I gone ahead and
yeah,
an 11-yard game. I gave
so
them the first down, but okay.
Didn't get the spot that we thought they would, but 3rd and short now.
It's actually a 9-yard play. Hofford now 4 out of 8 for 36 yards, has been picked a couple of times. 3rd and short now, about a couple of inches actually, as Hofford will keep it, and he has it. As the pile moves out to about the 40-yard line, well, 39-yard line, they'll spot it. Gain of a couple and a first down.
Hofford, big quarterback, ran very effectively against Eden Prairie. We've seen him have some good games. 6'3", 201, just going over the middle. The big center, Bart McGee, picking up 2 yards and a first down. It's the first carry for Hofford tonight. Big one to keep the clock going and the possession in Jefferson's hands.
Spot the ball at the 38-yard line. 10.5 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Strong left. Hofford now will set and fire, and it is caught by Grimes at the 46-yard line. And he is tackled immediately by Cortez, the linebacker, but not before an 8-yard gain is achieved in the 2nd and short.
David Cortez has been all over the field with 6 tackles in the first half, playing the run very well. They're in coverage on Grimes. Good throw there by Hofford to find the opening and a good first down play.
Grimes 2 receptions for 11 yards, 2nd and 2 from the 46-yard line. Strong right this time. Gibbs out to the right side. Bolden in motion. give is to Christopher. Jason finds the seam, crosses midfield into Raider territory to the 46-yard line. Gain of 8 more on the play and another Jefferson first down.
Well, Christopher's seen more carries here in this part of the game so far, 4 carries for 25 yards, and he probably has seen, in probably a stretch of 3 or 4 games at any point of the season. So fullbacks being featured as they've cut off some of the counter plays and showing they have other weapons they can use, and they've been getting some big plays from their fullbacks.
1st and 10 from the 46-yard line, just outside of it, inside counter to Bolden, and he breaks 1 tackle, and he gets down to the 42-yard line before being brought down by Chris Hayter, but Bolden picks up a tidy 4-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 6.
Good bit of running by Kenyatta Bolden, as it was somewhat muddled there in the middle, a lot of traffic and congestion, but he found a way to pick up 4 yards, blocking, standing up the defensive line just enough for Bolden to play off a couple of blocks and pick up 4 yards. 2nd and 6 is Jefferson having good effectiveness on first down, helping this drive.
From the Raider 42, strong right again as Grimes is in motion, and Hoffert will play action. Fire out the Bolden, who makes the grab near the first down marker at about the 36-yard line.
Hard hit by Rosga once again. He was real hitter. You can really see why he's a Division I prospect. Big hitter out there in the secondary.
And it looks like they're going to mark it just shy. Now they give him the first down. All right.
Yeah, it had to be. It's 36 close, if not a first down, as it was. You saw the tackle there by Rosgas. Put on some resounding hits, but that time Bolden was able to withstand that and hold on to the ball. Big catch. Another first down.
8:36 to go, 3rd quarter. 3rd first down of the drive already by Jefferson from the Cretin 36-yard line, and the give is to Bolden off the left side, and Kenyatta is not going to get anything here. In fact, he's going to lose about 4 as he's dropped back at the 40-yard line, loss of 4, now has 10 carries for 47 yards.
So once again, David Cortez with the run support, he spoiled that play and then got good support to contain Bolden to lose 3 yards. 2nd down from the 39, 13 to go. See on the replay there, number 77 helped getting the wraps on Bolden. That's Giuliani.
2nd and 13, Grimes in motion. Christopher the lone back as Hoffert shoots the flare out to Grimes, and play never really developed as Hoffert was under pressure right away too, and getting in to apply the heat was Jeremy Docks for the Raiders, and it's 3rd and 13.
Jeremy Docks having a stellar first half. 5 tackles, a couple of quarterback hurries, that time forcing Hoffert to lead Grimes considerably on that play, as Grimes had the opening on the sideline, would have picked up big yardage, but big hurry there helped Cretin-Derham Hall hold this to the 3rd down and a long situation, 13 to be exact.
Dan Brown in the game now. He goes wide to the right on 3rd and 13. Bolden in motion. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up, though. Hoffert over the middle. Caught by Sinclair. Fumbles the ball. They rule it a catch. It's still loose, and it's recovered by...
2 players, one from each team at the bottom. I don't know how this is going to come out.
I don't either. Cretin's saying, of course, that they have it, but there's no signal yet. But that ball is around, and the Raiders have got it back. But there's a flag on the play. Let's check the flag at the 45-yard line. Let's check the flag, though.
Let's check the flag, see if it's on the offense or not. Another big hit there being
that
provided
Rosga
by
again?
Rosga again. It's about the 4th big hit he's had in this game, as he really puts the shoulder pads in there well. And it is on Jefferson.
The penalties against the Jaguars, and of course, Cretin will decline. And Aaron Sinclair has had kind of a tough night as far as catching the ball. Had one go through his hands, and now he, after getting drilled by Rosga, that's a tough ball to hang on to, but fumbles it away. 3rd consecutive possession with a turnover now for Jefferson. Raiders from their own 30 as they start the 2nd half. 7.5 to go in the 3rd, trailing by 14. I formation. This is Webb up the middle, and forget it. He gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And that is going to be it as Grusing makes the stop. 2nd and 10.
They stood up the offensive line very well and not given Vertus Webb a chance to find his cutback lanes. You see number 35, Christopher, helping out on the tackle. They'll give
1 yard to Vertus Webb the third there, 2nd down and 9. 15 carries now for 36 yards for Vertus.
Raiders now come out in an I formation, but Webb is very deep in the backfield. Rosga to the near side. And this will be Webb off the right side, and he can't keep his feet as he's dropped by Mike Wagner, as Webb gets no gain on the play. And let's see here, well, they might give him a yard, I guess.
Maybe a yard or two as
Yeah,
Wagner making a big tackle. As Nick Tetner once again, his good upfield rush forcing things into Jefferson's favor. He has really been one of the heroes on defense. They bring him in certain situations, and he's thrived well.
3rd and 8 now from the 33-yard line. Rosga to the right, Green to the left. I formation. As St. Aubin is under center. Jaguars showing blitz. Here they come as St. Aubin on a play action fires out, and it's incomplete. Intended out on the near side for Knipple. And it is 4th down, and once again, the Raiders for the 4th time tonight will punt.
And for the 6th time, they do not convert on 3rd down. That's going to be one of the key categories in the game. Cretin-Derham Hall should lose this game. They can look to that as one of the factors. You see good pressure being provided. 3rd down, pass rushing specialist Joe Harms, 67, and once again, Nick Tetner.
And the Jefferson defense is really showing its strength now. Even last week you could see it with Eden Prairie. Despite the number of points given up, Eden Prairie was averaging about 333 a game, and the Jaguars only gave up 260. High snap. It's blocked! And it's going to be picked up at the 5-yard line and taken in for, I believe, a touchdown, and it is. And the Jaguars, as Sean Collins picks up the blocked punt and covered it into the end zone. Collins with the recovery.
I think Grimes might have blocked that ball. I'm not positive. You see on the replay, but definitely Sean Collins scooped it up as it went toward the end zone. We'll see on the replay, get a better look at it again. I could be wrong. I think Grant Grimes might have gotten that one.
And it's hard to tell, but it's either Bates or Grimes, one of the two. I believe Bates did block it, though, now that we look at it, because he was in there awfully fast as Maxwell's point after was right down the middle. Jefferson now with their 14th block punt of the year is starting to open this one up.
So special teams has really been a key staple of their team. And that can really enhance your chances, not only having a good offense and strong defense, you can have a superior special team that just adds to what your team can bring to the field. And that's been one of the primary things Jefferson's had this year.
Sean Collins, number 30, with the recovery as he falls on the end zone.
Sean Collins recovers in the end zone.
And Collins with his first touchdown of the year, and played special teams basically all the year, but he's a 6', 190-pound junior fullback, and Sean has just helped put his team up by 21 now with 5:53 to go in the 3rd.
As they've brought the juniors into the fold, you saw Joe Harms and also Nick Tetner. They're 2 juniors that will be back having some big defensive rushes up front. And now Sean Collins, another junior, comes in following the blocked punt to score and put Jefferson up by 3 touchdowns.
And Maxwell will get it underway, and it's high and it's deep, and it's Roscoe who fumbles it at the 5. Now picks it up, make that Webb rather, up the far side, and there he goes to the 35, Webb to the 40, and he is pushed out of bounds at the 45-yard line, make it the 41-yard line where he stepped out of bounds. Cretin comes back with good field position, 1st and 10, and they are in trouble.
Yes, they'll be really tested as Jefferson special teams has given them another score. Make it a 3-touchdown game, and the defense has been strong throughout, and they have not been able to get Vertus Webb underway. That's Vertus Webb's best accomplishment of the evening, that big return, is he's really been held down under 3 yards a carry.
Raiders now down by 3 touchdowns from their own 41. I formation again, Roscoe to the near side as St. Aubin now shoots the quick out to Roscoe, makes a great grab, but he's got nowhere to go as he gets dropped immediately. Mike Wagner in there to make the play along with Dan Richards. And it is officially no gain, and it's 2nd and 10.
Keith Thompson helping provide good coverage to turn Roscoe into some help from his friends. Good catch, but
when he had to jump for it that allowed Thompson to cover the play fairly quickly. Ragnar and Richards in quickly for no gain, second down from the 41.
So now we're to the left side. Green wide to the near side. Roscoe in the slot as, again, Webb the lone back on 2nd and 10. And the delay to Webb, and he tries to get to the left side as he will not. And another great play by Thompson. Keith Thompson comes in from the cornerback spot and drops Webb after about maybe a 2-yard. Well, they're going to give him about let's see, the 43, so that'll be a gain of 2, and it's 3rd and 8.
Webb just now reaching the 40-yard mark. At that time, he tried to turn it maybe too far outside instead of going up ahead. It seemed like he had some more straight-ahead yardage. He tried to go further outside than he was strung out there by Keith Thompson on a great individual tackle in the open field. 3rd down and 9 from just inside the 43.
Green to the near side. Sinauer to the left side. St. Aubin is back in a play action. Here comes the rush. Fires over the middle, and it's nearly intercepted by Wagner, and that one was just begging to be picked off as St. Aubin was under intense pressure. Shooting in from the left side was Nick Tetner.
Once again with Joe Harms, they provided the big pressure on the last 3rd down situation that Cretin-Derham Hall had. They're now 0 of 7. Those two juniors are really providing the rush. Tetner coming in, beating his man, and also Harms helping out. And the ball, fortunately for Cretin-Derham Hall, falling out of Harms' way. And 4th down, and Roscoe will be back to punt again for the 5th time. And we know what happened last time, and I'm sure we'll be a little leery of what might be lying ahead.
Harms' way. Okay. Roscoe high and down the middle, and it is Grimes, and I don't think he signaled for a fair catch, though. And it will be spotted at the 28-yard line where Jefferson will take it over. .4:10 to go in the 3rd. Winner of this game gets, as we mentioned before, the winner of Park Cottage Grove and Alexandria tonight. As they come out, and it's a strong right with Gibbs out to the right side. And of course, they're in the wing as they will give to Bolden, and Kenyatta hits the 30-35, still on his feet as he gets the 40. The ball is loose, but we've got it back.
Grimes again.
Grimes is on the spot, and actually they pick up a couple more out of the fumble. All the way out to the 45-yard line, they're going to spot it, so the total gain on the play is 17 yards. And Kenyatta Bolden now with that carry has 11 carries now for 64 yards unofficially. Jefferson has fumbled twice tonight, but has gotten it back.
Yeah, you see a case of a team that's having everything go its way. Things are going on the positive side. Even a lot of the fumbles are bouncing their way. They've had a couple interceptions and lost the fumble, but 2 big key possessions where a fumble on their side could have given Cretin-Derham Hall a chance. They've recovered it.
Make that 2 fumbles but 1 loss. Grimes right side as he tries to get outside, and he does. To the 50, to the 45. He is up in it near the 1st down marker. He is very close. And Jefferson now is just snowballing. And if this one goes to 35-7, I'm sorry, this game's over.
Yeah, I would say for all intents and purposes it would be. Jefferson's defense is getting stronger with each possession. As you see the speed of Brant Grimes, the number 2 400 dash runner in the state, as he gets outside, an attempted tackle by Ben Kozel. And you try the closing speed, you better bring a lot of it because this guy runs 4.4 and he really can get outside very quickly.
And they do give him the 1st down and a gain of 10. From the 44-yard line, and this will be Tia off the left side. Hawk gets the corner to the 45. Now he's inside of the 40. Push it up bounds at the 39-yard line, so he gets 5 out of the deal. And it's 2nd and 5. Pushed out over on the near side. Chris Hayter was there. And Webby was there.
Tia punished Hayter there as he used his shoulder pad as a battering ram to get an extra yard or so. They're really running hard. The fullbacks now 8 carries for 35 yards, but you can't really measure it in yards per carry. They've really picked up the tough yards, and some of them on 1st down to help the drives go along.
Spotted at the 40, 2nd and 6, and this will be Kenyatta to the left side as he gets to the 35-yard line and is finally wrestled out by Webby. but that is just shy of the first down. It'll be third and looks like about 2 to go as he picks up 4.
3 of 5 on third downs, Jefferson, and 0 for 7, Cretin-Derham Hall. You see the blocking again. Paul Kane helping lead the wave up front. Tackle being made by Webby, just short of the first down. 3rd and 2 now from the 35.
Gibbs to the right on 3rd and 2. 2:45 to go in the quarter. Hoffert will give to Christopher, who has the first down as he bulls his way near the 30, probably the 31-yard line is where they'll spot it. Needed 2, he picks up 4, and it's another Jaguar first down.
Back-to-back-to-back first downs as Tia and Christopher have been very key in this offensive charge for Jefferson. They've used their fullbacks, I think, more extensively than we've seen all year long, Mark, between the 2 9 carries and 2 receptions. And they picked up the big yardage in tough third down situations. It's helped them efficiency-wise perform at a 67% clip on third down.
He's had a terrific game on both sides of the ball. First down from the 31. Gibbs to the left side now as Hoffert will give to Grimes on the counter. He dodges one tackle, now turns it inside to the 25, down to the 23-yard line. Rozga in on the tackle.
What a move. Barry Sanders like stopping on a dime, cutting it back against the grain to pick up that yard. 8 yards, I should say. As you see, he makes a tackler miss. Coming up with nothing but air and picking up 8 yards. Helping finish him off was John Hunter, but Brant Grimes did that on great athleticism and individual effort to elude the first would-be tackler.
9 carries for 133 yards. 2 touchdowns as well. 2nd and 2 from the 23. And it'll be Christopher on the delay off the right side, and Jason fumbles the ball.
Got it back, I believe.
And Jefferson has really been playing with fire here the last few possessions. As I mentioned, the last 3 possessions they have turned it over, overlapping back into the first half, but they get this one back. In fact, this is the 2nd fumble on this drive that they've recovered.
The only thing about the fumble, it might have pushed them just short of the first down, as Christopher had gained the first down until he fumbled and then had to fall back and recover it, but we'll see if they still netted the first down. 4th fumble by Jefferson. They've lost 1.
This one is close, but it looks like he has it from here, but of course he needs the last millimeter to get the first down, which is about the distance. So caught 3rd and 1. As you see, we get a shot there of the wild section of the crowd, which is basically the whole section of the stands.
This whole side.
The whole stands. Really pumped up crowd tonight.
Centimeters short.
8th play of the drive. Double tight end set. Grimes in motion. I formation. Hoffert keeps. Hoffert has it. And he keeps going as he falls forward. And they fumble it again. And
they might have lost this. Oh, no, I guess
they got it back. Oh, man.
Woo.
So they fumbled it 3 times this drive. They've gotten it back all 3 times. And with that play,
let's look at once again in the middle of the line. A lot of Cretin-Derham Hall players stripping at the ball. Hoffert not covering it up very efficiently, and fortunately they recovered on the 3rd fumble of the drive, and they've lived a very glamored life in this drive. If they finish this off with a touchdown, I'm sure it really would be very demoralizing, with Cretin-Derham Hall having a chance to turn the tide in this drive.
Hoffert officially with a 7-yard carry. And it will be to Bolden up the middle, and Kenyatta gets inside the 10. Well, and I guess they'll spot him right at the 10, so he picks up 4. And we'll be going to our on-field reporter, Todd Erickson, in just a moment.
See the gain there up the middle as Jefferson methodically using up a lot of clock, as this 3rd quarter is almost totally exhausted. Jefferson has added to their lead and still have the ball and have a chance to go up by 4 scores.
Should be the last play of the quarter. 2nd and 7. Now they're caught at the 11-yard line. 5 seconds left. Hoffert under center. Takes the snap. And on a play action, he'll roll to the right. Hoffert to the 10. He's pushed out of bounds at I believe the 9-yard line. Looks like they give him the 8-yard line. And that'll make it 3rd and goal as we go to I believe we're going to go to Todd now. Todd? Okay, I guess we won't be going to Todd, and I guess we'll be going to the break between the third and the fourth quarter. So it's all Jefferson in this one. They pick up one touchdown in the third quarter off the block punt. We head to the fourth. It's Jefferson 28, Cretin-Derham Hall 7, and you're watching Jaguar football on BEC Television, the station of champions.
These adults got a second chance. You can too, in free classes at SHAPE.
SHAPE has helped me to realize what I wanted.
To learn some new skills for college.
To have a better education and to get a better job.
So I could tell my daughter that it's very important to stay in school.
They have night classes and day classes.
There's a lot of one-on-one.
Now I know there's somebody on my side.
Call SHAPE today. We'll help you finish high school and prepare for a better future.
Set to open the fourth quarter of play with Jefferson poised to put this one out of reach. And, well, you know, it's kind of ironic. They've had a lot of plays in this quarter, but their score came off a block punt. 3rd and 4 now from the 8. Hofford on the play action. Doug wants to throw. He looks and he fires. Oh, he had Grimes in the end zone, but a little late with it. And broken up on a nice play again. I believe it was Tim Rozga. Yes, it was, and it's 4th down.
Tim Rozga shining on defense, even though he's been somewhat halted on offense. He's made some resounding hits and stepping in to knock the ball away from Grimes. He has great coverage speed, great closing speed that the recruiters look for. Hofford now 7 for 15 for 59 yards. And on 4th down, they're not going to go with Mike Maxwell. They're going for the end zone.
Second, 4th down attempt for the ninth. They were good on the first one as Hofford is under center. They need 4 yards. Play action pass. Fires over the middle. It is, tipped and nearly caught. First by Sinclair. Went through his hands. And then Bolden had a shot at it. He couldn't come up with it either. So the Raiders keep their foot in the door ever so slightly as they'll take it over on downs from their own 8-yard line, trailing by 21 with 11:50 to go.
Great stand. His Stan Shea showing confidence in his offense and defense, thinking that he's got enough points and would like to take a shot at the end zone, not vying for the field goal there as the ball just tipped away from Sinclair and Bolden, both in the area. Cretin-Derham Hall now need a touchdown drive here and need one pretty quick to get in earshot's distance in this one.
Rozga to the right on 1st down, I formation. And this will be a play action by St. Aubin as he looks, fires long down the near side. Incomplete, intended for Green, I believe. Yeah, Green on the, he was the intended receiver. Pass was long and it's 2nd and 10.
Grimes on the coverage as they are prepared in the 2-deep zone to try to halt any deep patterns thrown by Cretin-Derham Hall. As we see there the pass falling awry as Devon Green had a slight step, but that ball was tough to get in there as the coverage was pretty good. 2nd and 10.
From the 8-yard line, and it's Green to the left side, Rozga to the right side. Webb is the lone back as St. Aubin now will give to Webb on the delay. He gets a seam out to the 10 to the 15. Still on his feet, 20-25, across the 30 to the 35-yard line before being brought down. Hockey along with Mike Wagner eventually saved the touchdown by bringing him down, but Vertus Webb for the first time tonight is really showing us some of that speed out of the backfield slot as he picks up 27 yards in a 1st down.
A little delay that time got Vertus a little opening, and on the sprint draw he found good blocking up front and a lot of room, as that's his biggest carry on the evening, and only the 6th first down for Cretin-Derham Hall puts him at the 35.
Again, I formation, a little more compact this time though. And again, 2 receivers set as it'll be St. Aubin. Deep drop, fires near side, caught by Green at the 43-yard line, they'll spot it. As he picks up 9 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 1.
2nd down 1.
Cretin-Derham Hall obviously having to look to run and
throw the ball at times too. More of the throws as they ran with Vertus Webb the prior play. Get themselves out of the hole, and that time found Green for a good first down play, 2nd and 2.
3 receivers set now on 2nd and short, and it's Webb on the delay up the middle, 45-50. There he goes to the 45, down to the Jefferson 40-yard line as Mike Maxwell brings him down. But Webb peels off I believe a 16-yard gain.
And he's getting closer to the 100-yard mark just like that. He's got more yards in this drive than he had throughout the game. Cretin-Derham Hall, seeing the desperation, they're starting to get some performance out of him now and getting good blocking up front.
Raiders on the move from the Jaguar 41. 3 receivers set again. Webb the lone back. Shoots to the right, complete to Green. Green to the 40, and he is tripped up by Thompson. Keith making a nice play before Green got to the 38-yard line. Thompson tripped him up for about a 3-yard gain, and it's 2nd and 7.
Thompson making another tackle. The secondary is tackled very well this evening. That's been key. Is Cretin-Derham Hall, very good receivers that can do good things with the ball after they catch it. They've maintained good defensive posture, though, to hold those receptions to a minimum. 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7.
Sinauer to the right. Roz
Blitz.
left. Here comes the blitz, and they pick it up. St. Aubin over the middle, and it's dropped by Van Gemmert at the 30-yard line. But Jefferson had the blitz on, but to Cretin's benefit, they picked it up pretty well.
There you see a very well-schooled offensive line, and they knew their assignments. Travis Johansson tried to come up the middle. He was picked up just enough so St. Aubin could get the pass, even though it was awry. He did get it off, luckily, to keep them in earshot on 3rd down, 3rd and 7 with 9:42 left. Cretin-Derham Hall at the 39 of Jefferson.
3 receivers set on 3rd and 7 from the Jefferson 38 as St. Aubin is under center. It gives the Webb. Forget it, he is dropped in the backfield.
And there's Harms again.
Harms was in there along with Wagner. And it is 4th down, and I believe now about 10 after the loss.
Mike Wagner and Joe Harms on the
You see on the replays, they knifed in on the slant there, letting the linebacker seep through also, as Harms has had a strong game with a couple quarterback hurries and a couple big tackles. 4th and 12 now.
Loss of 5 on the play. This is probably the last shot here for the Raiders. 9:05 to go in the game. 4th and 12. St. Aubin back, rolls to the near side, looks, throws, and it is caught by Rozga. Has the first down at the Jaguar 25-yard line. Gain of 18 on the play, and Cretin keeps it alive.
There's the money player, Tim Rozga, with his 6th reception. He always finds a way to get open. He's their big play man with his 6th reception there as he on an out pattern. Took a while to develop. Offensive line had to provide him with some time there. Otherwise, that play never would have got underway, but they did. St. Aubin rolled away long enough to get that ball off.
Spotted at the Jefferson 26. Again, 3 receivers set. St. Aubin on a play action pass. Rolls to the right, fires over the middle, caught by Van Gemmen, and he is down to the 6-yard line. And that will be a gain on the play of 20 yards. And here come the Raiders.
Raiders are coming along strong. St. Aubin now 12-26, so 132 yards. Time going downfield to his tight end, Van Gemmert, finding the seam open there as they've attacked Jefferson there at certain parts of the game to move the ball fairly well in this drive, their best drive of the evening.
And a Jefferson player is down. We haven't seen who it is yet, but
let's see if I can catch a number. Looks like Mike Wagner, number 42, being tended to at this point.
Well, he'd be a tough one to lose. Wagner, every game is noticed. You just can't help but not notice him.
Yeah, he's always making things happen, always around the ball.
Terrific player. They spotted at the 7-yard line. You see Jamie Blanchard getting some warm-up tosses. And we have 8:50 to go in this game. And Cretin is basically in a spot where unless they create a turnover for a touchdown, they're going to have to score every time they touch the ball.
Their defense is going to have to come up with some stops. Even if they score here, they're going to have to get the ball back very quickly. As Jefferson didn't score on their last drive, but they exhausted a lot of the clock in the third quarter. In the early part of the fourth, they held it a little bit. Fourth down touchdown attempt going awry, but they accomplished a lot with that drive. And now Cretin-Derham Hall didn't see the ball very much in that third quarter. Now one of the last-ditch efforts. They'll try to cut the lead to 2 touchdowns, but face quite a task at hand, even if they do that with 8:50 left in the game. And we're just about ready to go again as Wagner vaulting off on his own power.
First and goal from the 7, 10th play of the drive. And the Raiders now come out in a double tight end set. Rosca slot to the right I formation. And this will be a play action by St. Aubin. He looks, he wants to throw, he does, and it's incomplete. Tried to free up, I believe it was Rosca at the back of the end zone. And it's second and goal.
Good pass rush by Dan Richards, forcing that errant throw there by St. Aubin as he stepped up into the pocket and was hit just as he threw it. And goalpost made a good reception. Fortunately, don't get any yards for that. Second down and 10, or second and goal, I should say, at the 7. 8:36 to go. Cretin-Derham Hall desperately trying to score and make this a ball game.
Now they try and spread the field with a 3-receiver set. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Webb the lone back on second and goal. St. Aubin again rolling to the left, wants to throw, does, it's tipped and incomplete. As Rosca was just inside the end zone when St. Aubin tried to hit him, and the deflection almost came Green's way before going out of the back of the end zone.
And I think Rosca is still down after that hit as he received hits he's been dishing out. Travis Johansson and Grimes. Travis Johansson, they've been using him in certain situations, dropping back in coverage, kind of mixing up their defenses. That time he dropped back in coverage, and Grimes came over and they converged and knocked the ball away from Tim Rosca. Second down, make it third down now from the 7.
Rosca is used much in the same role as Brant Grimes is for Jefferson. I don't think there's a minute that goes by on the field where he isn't on it either.
Kicking duties, defense and offense. Rosca is there to do it all, and he's a tough kid. He gets up, a little shaken up, but we'll be back soon. You can rest assured of that. Cretin-Derham Hall, they want to keep going, though. They're going to have to convert one of these 2 downs, or it's coming more and more evidently clear it could be the end of their season.
From the 7-yard line, it is third and goal. Again, they go the 2 wide out set now in a double tight end. And it'll be Webb on the delay, and he breaks 1 tackle, now tries to get to the outside, and forget it. Absolutely dropped. Keith Thompson and Brant Grimes drop Webb for an 8-yard loss back to the 15. Now they'll spot at the 13-yard line, but it's still a 6-yard loss. It's fourth and goal from the 13.
They stayed at home there and not letting him get inside with Dave Grussing, and they pushed him outside. Keith Thompson with his 8th tackle of the evening, 5 solos. Just a superb game in the secondary, good coverage and great tackling, and that's been key. They've held Webb. Now they pushed him down to about 75 yards and 0 for 9 on third down. And here's fourth.
Last shot of the game for the Raiders. Fourth and goal from the 13, and it'll be a reverse now to Rosca. Rosca looking to throw. He is at the 25, fires, and it is incomplete.
Travis Johansson back in coverage from the defensive line. Once again, as they mix up their defenses, they've used Johansson in that role quite often. Nick Tedner providing good rush. Nothing there, and Cretin-Derham Hall comes up empty.
13-play drive, come up with nothing. They chew a lot of time off the clock for Jefferson, though.
Yeah, that almost played into their hands coming up with nothing. 2 drives, both teams coming up empty, but Jefferson doesn't have to score anymore. The onus is on Cretin-Derham Hall, and they couldn't come up with that one as they're 0 for 3 on fourth, 0 for 9 on third. 7 minutes left. Jefferson looking to put it away.
From their own 13, and Blanchard is in the game now. He gives off the bolt, and Kenyatta turns it inside, and is very wary to stay in bounds, and a near face mask as Bolden gets out near the 20-yard line. Picks up 6 on the play, and it's 2nd and 4.
Holden now 77 yards, 15 carries. They bring in Jamie Blanchard. We've seen him as a third quarterback, sometimes a second. Just simple handoffs, keep it in bounds and keep the clock rolling, which is just over 7 minutes.
Clock on the move as we have 7 minutes to go right now. And Jefferson is in the driver's seat and headed for the Dome. Blanchard now will give off and out to near the 25-yard line. Jeremy Bates with the carry. Bates, who blocked the punt. That was recovered for a touchdown. The last time Jefferson scored. Now gets the carry and gets a Jaguar first down.
See Bates getting a chance on offense. Carrying the ball and they're running strong, picking up another first down for Jefferson to keep possession alive. 15 first downs to 9 for Jefferson.
And this will be a quick throw up the middle now.
That's Collins.
That's Collins, who's the man who scored the touchdown on the block punt. So they have that punt blocking combination in the backfield with Bates and Collins takes it out to the 35, and he has the first down as well.
Back-to-back special teams players getting a chance to run the ball. Collins getting good blocking, showing some good moves, getting through there for 11 yards. Still 6 minutes left. Jefferson showing pretty good drive here with some of their subsidiary players coming in, filling in.
As Blanchard is under center. And now the give goes to Nick Mertz as Mertz gets to the 37-yard line. Make it the 36-yard line, so he picks up a yard at 2nd and 9.
See, they try that counter play they've been using, their staple for the season under Shea, his innovative offensive system. Just picking up the yardage they can, keeping the clock rolling. They've stayed in bounds. They're accomplishing what they want to here in this latter portion of the fourth quarter, up by 3 touchdowns.
One receiver set, that's Brown to the left side on 2nd and 8. A long 8, make it. And this will be Collins to the right side, and he is dropped, but he, I believe, stays in bounds. And of course, that's probably the most important thing at this point, besides don't turn the ball over.
He's doing both there. His clock rolling under the 5-minute mark. As he rolls outside trying to gain yardage and then just falls just short of the sidelines, where it'll be 3rd and 6 at that point from the 38.
Collins 2 carries for 14 yards. 4:45 to go in this one. As Blanchard is under center. Jamie takes a snap and gives off. And there goes 45 to the 50 and down to the 47-yard line is Jeremy Bates, and that'll be another Jaguar first down.
Jefferson just has so many ways to keep the defense guessing and to get the over pursuit to cut back and find the openings. And Jeremy Bates, we haven't seen him run all year. This time he gets the cutback ability and the opportunity to find himself some holes. Good blocking by Hanson and Kane on the side. Run to by Bates, the right side this time. 14 yards and a first down. Jeremy Bates now 2 carries for 20 yards.
From the Raider 47-yard line. And on the exchange, it's Cretin with the ball and taking away down to the 30 to 35.
Turned over
again. Fumble it back. Terrence Gillette.
Fumble on the play.
And it is Cretin's ball.
Cretin recovers the fumble. There's an official's timeout.
And well, it's a good thing that Jefferson defense has been so good in the second half, because the offense has really been turning it over.
Yes, we hadn't seen this in the last 2 games, but there's been some sloppy ball handling here. Really just like to see him run the ball straight ahead. Don't try too many gadget plays and just keep the ball straight ahead, keep possession. That time it cost him.
We talked about Jefferson's penchant for being able to force the turnover. Cretin has really turned the tables on him in that category, but unfortunately it hasn't hurt the Jaguars. It's St. Aubin now with 3:30 to go. Looks and he throws, and it is incomplete as Thompson had a decent shot at picking it off at the 20-yard line. And it'll become 2nd and 10.
Jefferson has a good idea where the ball's going to go. It's toward Tim Rosga, and there was good coverage there. Thompson having a stellar game, almost picking that one off. Just through his grasp there, past Rosga, falling harmlessly to the ground. St. Aubin 12 of 24 on the evening. No interceptions, no touchdowns. Good defensive secondary work, and once again, good pass rush. They've only had 1 sack, but quite a few hurries on the evening.
From the 33 on 2nd and 10. St. Aubin again on a deep drop, shoots the screen over the middle to Van Gemmert, and he makes the catch, and he is down to the 22-yard line. Van Gemmert rather with the grab, down to the 22. Gain of 11 and a first down.
Gemmert with his 4th reception. Just run a little tight end seam route in the middle and pick up their 10th first down. Just over 3 minutes to go. Cretin-Derham Hall trying to get another score here.
3 receivers set now from the 22, and again St. Aubin on a play action, fires over the middle, flag on the play. The pass is caught by, now it's dropped by Van Gemmert.
The ground.
Great effort, but let's check the flag.
Could be a hold as they try to provide extra coverage on the good pass rush by Jefferson. We'll see what the call is from the field.
Block below the waist. That's a big one.
That helped St. Aubin get extra time. I believe Raleigh Logan trying to come in on the pass rush. We'll look once again. Can't really see it there from our replay, but that'll push Cretin-Derham Hall back in their quest to try to get another score.
See that referee stuff?
That's a big one. That's a 15-yarder.
That's their second 15-yard penalty. 2 of 3 penalties, 2 going to Cretin-Derham Hall.
That'll spot the ball back at the 38-yard line. 1st and 26 for the Raiders. As St. Aubin is under a ton.
Oh, there's a hold on Harms. How they cannot. Oh, they're called. 2 flags came out on that one.
Yeah.
That's how good the hold was. 2 flags came out. Harms is really fired up. He was held there by Jeremy Sweeney. Harms has been living in the second half, especially in that backfield of Cretin-Derham Hall. He would have gotten to St. Aubin had not Sweeney inhibited his path, as you see him with the good grappling hold to pull down Harms, but the officials.
Well, he got his money's worth anyway out of it. I mean,
if you're going to hold, do it good.
Do it good, yep. So Cretin is doing nothing but going backwards at this point. And after this penalty, they're going to have about a 1st and 50 here, and I mean that nearly literally. They're going way back here with this one.
Now they're on their side of the 50s. Just a few plays ago, they were near the 20 of Jefferson. They've lost about 40 yards. Just 2 plays here with penalties. Jefferson looked like might give up the 2nd touchdown of the evening. Now it looks like maybe if their defense can keep things in front of them, they can hold Cretin at 6 here and have a great defensive effort on the scoreboard.
1st and 36. St. Aubin wants the screen to Rosga. Rosga to the 50, the 45, still on his feet to the 40, 35. Still on his feet as he's down to the 25-yard line. And now we're getting a good example of how valuable Tim Rosga is. Not only is he an all-versatile player, they're down by 3 touchdowns with 2.5 minutes to go, and he's still going at 100%.
He's still running hard. He doesn't quit until the game is over, and he won't do that for a while as you see him make another reception. His 7th of the evening, almost 100 yards, and he's played well on defense. He's just given everything to try and keep Cretin's season alive, but unfortunately, it won't happen here tonight.
St. Aubin is back on 2nd down, and the pass is short hop to Van Gemmert at the 15, and it's 3rd and 15 now.
Despite that big play of 23 yards, still have 15 yards to go. On
third down is the pass. You see they're going to the shoe tops of Van Gimmert, who's seen a lot of leather go his way, catching 4 on the evening. 2:05 left. Jefferson total control. Rode a good first half, a good first quarter, and they haven't relinquished it since.
2:05 to go, 3rd and 14. St. Aubin on a deep drop, fires for the end zone, and it's incomplete. Intended for Senauer at the end zone. And it is 4th and 14 with 2 minutes to go.
Just trying to find something deep with the 2 deep zone and more like a prevent defense. They can just lay back and play the areas and go to the ball. That's what they did there, having 2 guys play pretty much center field. No opening there. Once again on 3rd down, Cretin-Derham Hall is perfect. They haven't converted. It's one thing that's helped Jefferson. We've mentioned that, but really key category that's helped Jefferson on defense.
Last shot here for the Raiders on 4th down. St. Aubin is back, and he throws, and it is incomplete. Intended for a Webb at the 20, and he drops the ball, and that is going to be about it as the Jaguars now take over with 1:54 to go. Each team has 3 timeouts, but I don't think any of them are going to be burned here as Jefferson can take about 3 snaps, and we're headed indoors.
Gives you an idea of kind of the night it's been for Vertus Webb. Couldn't come up with that one. He has no receptions on the evening and had a couple big runs in the 3rd quarter, but never really got underway. Under 75 yards for the evening is once again Jefferson's defense has held down one of the top runners they've seen back-to-back. Last week was McFadden, who with some fourth quarter yardage got over 100 yards, but they held him under wraps pretty well, and they've done that with Webb, and they didn't let him get in the end zone at all.
And this will be Bates on the right side, and he is dropped for about a 5-yard loss, but he stays in bounds, hangs onto the ball. And the clock is starting to wind down as Cretin's season is 1:40 away from ending, and Jefferson's is that amount of time from extending. Well, we're about to do a first here, as next week we will be live from the Metrodome in downtown Minneapolis, of course. As BEC will present the 1994 semifinal game between Jefferson and an opponent to be determined, the winner of the Park Cottage Grove Alexandria game. KMSP Channel 9 will carry the championship game, but we will be carrying the semifinal game. And it is going to be very strange announcing a game from that building.
Be quite an accomplishment for the team and very great event for us to be able to cover. I feel very honored to have the opportunity to do that as we've been riding the wave of Jefferson all year long, and they've gotten better as the season progressed, and going over to the Metrodome for their next game, and it'll be quite an event. Hopefully they can come out on top once again to the championship game.
On 3rd and long, he give up the middle, and that is
Glancy this time.
Glancy with the carry. That should be the last carry of this game, though, as now we have a Cretin player down, I believe, with 22 seconds to go. But the fans are on the sidelines. They're ready to pour onto the field. The players are congratulating one another. And these fans and supporters of this program and everybody connected with Jefferson football is ready to erupt here and showing their congratulations. And what a job. I mean, after losing all these star players from this team last year, Lane Kiffin and Lloyd Lee and Dave Watson and so many others, even Stan Shea, as optimistic as he is, I don't really couldn't have envisioned this at the start of the season.
I couldn't foresee this happening, as experts at Star Tribune, oddly enough, picked Jefferson to finish 7th. The strong Lake Conference, they picked them to finish behind, of course, teams like Eden Prairie, Burnsville, and Apple Valley. Also teams ahead of them, they had picked Lakeville, who's also still alive as far as we know at this point, Egan and Rosemont. So even the experts around the Twin Cities and around the state thought they had lost enough players from their team that they wouldn't be able to crack that first tier of the Lake Conference, let alone get to this point, which would be downtown Minneapolis where we'll move at the Hubert Humphrey Metrodome.
And there you see a sight that hasn't been seen in about probably 10 or 11 years. The fans pouring onto the field, and the Jefferson Jaguars are advancing onto the 1994 Class AA semifinal round that will be played next Friday, and this place has started to erupt.
Well, that's 9 in a row. See if we can make it 10 next week, Mark.
Okay, we'll take a quick break and we'll start the post-game festivities. Our final again, Jefferson 28, Cretin-Derham Hall 7. When we come back, we'll start the post-game wrap right after this. You've been watching Jefferson Jaguar football on BEC television.
Statistics show that 46% of all kids who smoke marijuana are inner city youth. Guess who the other 54% are? Call for a free parent's guide to drug prevention. 1-800-624-0100.
Well, you've seen this kid on the Star and Tribune this week. You had a nice story on your Brant Grimes. You've also saw him tonight, 9 carries, 133 yards for a couple of touchdowns. Brant, what can you say?
It's a great feeling right now. I've never felt like this before in my life. I mean, especially it being a total team effort, defense, offense, and special teams all coming through tonight to make big contributions. And our line, defense, everybody just played a great game tonight. It's unbelievable. It's great, especially with the team effort.
You're headed now to the Metrodome, where it's just, I would imagine, just an incredible feeling for you. The last 3-4 games, does it seem like one big dream to you? I mean, you're just on this your ride here, and you're wondering when it's going to stop?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've knocked off the 1, 3, and 4 teams so far, according to the Pioneer Press, and I mean, it's just crazy. And now that we're going to the Dome, we think we match up pretty good to play in the Dome with our team speed. So hopefully it'll just keep on going and the dream will never end until the championship game.
Talk about the 2 runs you had, in particular the 56-yard run you had to start the second quarter. You just had a big burst up the middle, and nobody really laid that much of a hand on you. Was it just that big a seam for you to get through?
Well, the line blocked great all night, and they over-pursued a little bit on that play, so everybody was thinking it was a sweep to Kenyatta or whatever, and the line blocked great like they did all night, and I just had to make one move up the middle, and I just had to run, that's the only thing I do good, so it just was great.
It's just been incredible so far. We'll let you go with one more question here. If somebody had told you back in August that you guys were going next week to play for the semifinals of the Class AA championship game, you're 2 wins away from a state championship, what would you have told them?
I would have said thank you if they knew that was going to happen, because I mean, we wanted this to happen, but I mean, you can't really expect this to happen. But to come together just like we did at the end of the season, well, I'm not really the end of the season, right? 3 games after, I mean, it's just crazy. I don't know. I guess it could have happened, but I never would have thought we would have been playing Cretin-Derham Hall quarterfinals of state this well, 28-7. Crazy.
Just an absolute domination by Jefferson. Brant, we'll let you go. Congratulations. We'll see you next week. We'll get somebody else near a second as head coach Stan Shea. Stan, congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.
You are on your way to the semifinals, and as a head coach, I know we asked this before how this feel, but game after game, I imagine the feeling must just get more and more incredible for you.
Yeah, it is not for me. I'll tell you what, everything we do is as a staff and as a team. Our players are unselfish. Our coaches are unselfish. It's a staff. It's never one person doing anything. We have a great staff. Our defensive crew, Denny Milherrick, Scott Strife, John Leverance, Phil Bruno. I mean, we come out and compete every game. We're playing hard right now. Offensively, Dick Bird with our offensive line, Scott Shea with our wide receivers, Matt Vollen with our receivers and backs. We are just simply playing great football, and we are having fun.
I asked you before the game if this whole journey seems a little predestined here, and it just seems that the teams that win the championships have games like this continually, game after game. I mean, you weren't mistake-free tonight. I think, in fact, Cretin forced double your turnover amount, which is obviously not the way it's been for you this year. But yet your defense kept them out of the end zone all but one time. And defensively, it's just incredible for you right now.
Yeah, we had a bad interception. I mean, right before the half, we gave them a chance, and our defense stood up to the test, made some great plays, and shut them down. Just a great game all the way around. You make some mistakes. High school football, you make some mistakes. We haven't made many.
Talk about Cretin for a second real quick. Vertus Webb, I mean, you held him in check really well tonight. He had about 20 carries for 75 yards. What can you say about that?
Our defensive line is quick, competes hard, and 20, 25 pounds a man, but we're very, very quick, and they play hard. We were able to penetrate us. It was fun. Our defensive line took it upon themselves a great challenge to shut them down. Our linebackers, D-backs, everybody. We just played well. They were well prepared by Denny Mulherrick and Scott Strife and John Leverins and Phil Bruno. They play hard.
You get the winner of Park Cottage Grove and Alexandria. I know you don't have a preference, but what can you tell us about quickly one of those two teams?
I don't know. It really doesn't matter at this stage of the game. But our kids, we've kind of had a dream since the beginning of the year to play in the Dome. And it could not happen to a bunch of better kids, more deserving kids. We're really looking forward to it. We're having fun every day. We're enjoying this moment, and it's just tremendous.
I asked Brant Grimes this question too, and I know that you're the eternal optimist, and as a head coach, I guess you have to be.
Hey, life's too short not to be an optimist. My God, we're only here a few days.
If somebody had told you back in August at the captain's practice and before the start of the year that you were about to be playing at the Dome and you were 2 wins away from a state championship, what would you have told them?
I would say that we are achieving our goal. Our goal at the beginning of the year, our captain set some big goals, and you got to dream a little bit. And their goal was to be there, and we're getting there. We're going to be there. I hope we get there twice. We're not ready. We want to keep on practicing because we're having so much fun, and we're just happy to be there. We're excited.
Kind of ironic. We talked about the Lake Conference scheduling indoor games next year, and you're talking about looking forward to playing indoors next year, and you're going to get there sooner than you think.
This is a great experience for our kids. It's great for our program. Great for everybody. We're happy to play down that Dome, and we have some kids that are real quick. It's going to be fun, and we should play well on the turf, we think.
Stan, congratulations.
Thank you, Schultze. Thank you much.
Daryl, take it upstairs.
Thanks, Mark. Thank you, Stan. I'm sure Brant Grimes will be quite a beneficiary playing on the turf with his game-breaking speed we've seen, and we saw it here tonight. Let's quickly run down the scoring. Grimes opened up the scoring with a 29-yard run following Tim Rosga's fumble. Following that, Kenyatta Bolden's 1-yard run on a 4th and 1, a big play there. That capped off a 10-play, 90-yard drive, and it was 14-0 Jefferson after 1 quarter. Cretin-Derham Hall getting their only score on John St. Aubyn's 2-yard run following Kenyatta Bolden's 40-yard punt and 8-yard return by Vertus Webb. But Jefferson maintained that 2-touchdown lead that they would never relinquish on a 56-yard run by Brant Grimes. And in the third quarter, Sean Collins, following the block of the punt by Bates, ran it in from 5 yards, and Jefferson ended up on a 28-7 note. Some individual stats. Rushing, we've talked about Brant Grimes, 133 yards on the evening. Kenyatta Bolden had a touchdown. Grimes had 2 touchdowns. Bolden 77 yards, 15 carries. Some other players seeing action. Hawk Tia and Jason Christopher, they were really key cogs on offense, getting the tough yards, helping net those first downs to keep drives alive. Tia 4 for 10, Christopher 6 for 32. Also Nick Bates seeing some action, Glancy, Mertz, and also Sean Collins. And Doug Hofford, a little tough time on the passing end, 7 of 16, 2 interceptions, 59 yards. As the secondary for Cretin-Derham Hall took away some things from Jefferson, but they couldn't stop that counter play. Vertus Webb, the third for Cretin-Derham Hall, 21 carries, 74 yards. That was most of the rushing, as only 76 yards on the ground for Cretin-Derham Hall and 252 yards overall, as St. Aubyn had a tough time in the second half. 29 attempts, 14 completions, 176. Rosga 7 receptions, 90 yards. And that led the way for Cretin-Derham Hall. Turnovers, 2 fumbles, and 4 overall for Jefferson, something they will want to cut down considerably in their next round. and Cretin-Derham Hall turned the ball over once, and that led to a touchdown. Those are the main stats. There's some other things we could talk about, but the main numbers we really need to concern ourselves with, 28-7. And stay tuned as we'll have the post-game wrap-up, and I'll tell you who will be the next opponent of Bloomington Jefferson. We'll save that for you for the post-game wrap-up. So you've been listening to Bloomington Football here and always on BEC, the station of champions.
Try Amy. Amy. Yeah, she'll go. Amy. Hey, it's Tom. Listen, I got tickets for Saturday. No, that's okay. Sure. Yeah, I'll see you. First Debbie, then Kathy, now Amy. What gives? I don't know. Just don't get it, dude.
Well, we have just witnessed the final game of the season for 1994 in this field tonight as Bloomington Jefferson has taken one more step towards that elusive state title as they win it over Cretin-Derham Hall 28-7. And Daryl, when I interviewed Stan Shea, this thing has basically seemed like a journey, hasn't it?
Yeah, journey that started in the conference and some tough games, going through teams like Burnsville and some tough games down the stretch. They've just carried it on and got a little surprise for you. I didn't want to say anything until this point, but they'll be playing Alexandria. Alexandria beat Park Cottage Grove 42-21.
Well, we certainly like that one. Of course, we know nothing about Alexandria, but the fact that they're kind of an unknown makes it kind of interesting since nobody knows anything about them. But as we mentioned before, they're kind of a Cinderella team as well, along with Lakeville, and we don't know the outcome. Or do we know the outcome of that?
No, but I know that Grand Rapids beat Richfield 34-13 from our BEC ticker.
Yes, the BEC Sports Wire. But in any case, Jefferson by 21 tonight. And again, Brant Grimes had a terrific night. Kenyatta Bolden had a terrific night. The defense had a terrific night. Aside from the turnovers that kind of happened in the second half when the play got a little sloppy, they owned Cretin in pretty much every category.
Yes, they did, and they show that you cannot stop Brant Grimes if you don't stop him from getting that first burst. As I doubt if there are hardly any players in the state that can catch him once he gets in the open field, and that's where they took advantage. They didn't really need the passing game. They did what they had to do offensively, and the defense never let Vertus Webb get going.
Vertus Webb finished with about 20 carries and I believe about 75 yards as he was much heralded, and he is a terrific back. I mean, don't take today's indication as a fact that he's not that good. He is a top-level back, but just like Leroy McFadden before him and Brian Granger before him, the Jefferson defense has just really had a habit of neutralizing the team's best player.
Yeah, they're so strong up front, Jefferson, on both sides. Let's give credit. Johansson, Adam Heisman really ties up things so the linebackers like Erickson and Wagner can make tackles. Dan Richards, Jason Christopher. And then on the other side of the ball, you've got McGee, you've got Grussing, you've got Hanson. They're just so strong up front, and they really bring such a good strong offense and defensive line. Paul Kane, he had some resounding blocks. I'm trying to mention everybody I can, but it's a team effort like Shea said, and that's why they're continuing to play.
And the coaching staff, of course, has done a magnificent job getting this team ready to play this year as well. So we will be from the Metrodome next Friday, and we'll have the pregame, of course, in the field. The kickoff will be, we believe it's 7:30, but we do not know yet for sure. So the time is yet to be determined, but we'll be going indoors next week. And that'll be kind of interesting.
Yeah, so it'll be quite a change. We'll be with the big time, and Jefferson's program moves indoors, and, hey, we're going to the Dome.
You forgot. We already are on the big time.
Oh, well, you know. Yeah. What can I say? This is a big time, but even bigger than big.
Yeah, we're going to bigger time next week, so. Well, it's been great, folks, and we certainly hope the ride continues. So along with Darryl Sellers, Mark Schultz, and, of course, the entire BEC crew here at Bloomington Stadium, it's been a terrific year here at the stadium, and we're looking for 2 more wins. We'll see you next week at the Dome for Class AA semifinal action. Good evening, everybody.